And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month, another edition for the first time here of the StarCraft Evolution Code A #1. I'm of course your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to a new tournament, a new monthly event under the StarCraft Evolution League banner, of course, Code A. Here we go. This is more of an amateur event. Basically, this is an event here designed to help support some of the more up-and-comers in StarCraft Evolution. I believe there is an MMR restriction. There's an MMR restriction here on the event of 5.6k on Korea or 5.7k on NA/EU. So there is that MMR restriction here, and because of that, it allows for these up-and-comers, semi-pro players, or still even pros, to face off here in StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. Let us go. I know that StarCraft Evolution can be quite daunting, especially with all the big names stepping into the ring, but here we have something for the lesser known players. And despite that, I mean, I say lesser known, we've casted many of these players many times, and I'm curious to see how they compare to each other. I'm excited to see how far they can go in these events and what kind of play we get to see as well. What I will say currently when it comes to the StarCraft Evolution meta is that I will say at the highest level of play, there's a lot of all-ins. There's a lot of short games. We have had some macro games in the past, but I'll be honest, in recent months and recent times, they've been more of a rarity here. And I'm hoping that maybe as we get down to the Code A level, maybe we can get some longer back and forth. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. We'll see. We'll see how these players kind of compare to each other, how the meta kind of settles here at this level of play, and how they, look coming into StarCraft Evolution. I'm ready. I'm excited. I am excited. Of course, we had our most recent patch, which we did go over during the podcast. So there have been a couple of adjustments here and there, a couple of changes coming into StarCraft Evolution, and we'll see if we get to experience any of those changes coming into our first series, into our first game. We're going to be jumping into Ateshi versus Nihed. Nihed? Yeah. Jumping into our, I almost said PVT. Looks like we might be switching depending on whether we're playing Brood War or SC2, but we're going to be jumping into our PvP here, jumping into Frostline. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, I need to remember that. Never mind. Un momento. Just catching up with the chat. That update didn't come into effect till after Code A. Well, there you go. So not yet. When it comes to the update, when it comes to the upcoming changes to StarCraft Evolution, something that I'm most excited by is going to be the economy change. There is going to be an economy change, allowing for more resources to be available on your main base and your natural base, kind of incentivizing and giving more of an opportunity to stay on a lower base count but still maintain a greater economy. That is definitely going to be an interesting change here to StarCraft Evolution. We'll get there. We're not there yet. Next month. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have the purple Protoss player. We have the purple SC2 Protoss from Hungary. It is Nihed. Okay, Nihed. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea, representing among SC2 people. It is Ateshi. Here we go. Now, coming into this, I'm a little bit more familiar with Ateshi as a player, as one of the top Protoss players in StarCraft Evolution. I think I would place him still a little bit lower than Rebellion, for example, and Skillus, but still a strong player in his own right. Meanwhile, Nihed across the map is a player I'm very unfamiliar with. I think I've casted him maybe once before in StarCraft 2, but I don't think I've experienced much of him in StarCraft Evolution, so I'm excited. I'm ready to see what he has to offer and how he compares to someone that's more notable, at least in my eyes. As we dive into our PvP, do have our initial double gas openers here. So far so good. When it comes to PvP in StarCraft Evolution, it's pretty, I mean, we don't see too much deviation. We should be seeing Dragoon play initially into Reaver. That's typically how Brutal Protoss does play out, going into Dragoon Reaver. We'll see if we do deviate. Likewise, it does feel like from what we've seen from SC2 Protoss players, we've seen a lot more Blink Immortal play, even almost prioritization into Immortals and Robo play, more so than Blink Stalkers in the early game. So we'll see if we go for a Robo Opener or a Twilight Council instead from the side of Nihed. Here we go. Rebellion, Prom, and Ateshi, maybe Darkest are some of the top amateurs. I mean, when I just mentioned it before, like when I think of the top Protoss players in StarCraft Evolution, I do place, I think I placed Rebellion top 5, maybe top 4. Like who would I place above Rebellion? I would place like Classic and Skilless, I feel. And I guess I think that's it. Like because there aren't that many regular Protoss players in StarCraft Evolution, I feel, right? Like I think Classic and Skilless initially as top 2, and then I think I placed Rebellion as top 3. I might be forgetting someone though. I may be forgetting another regular Protoss player in StarCraft Evolution. And then underneath Rebellion is where I would place like Prom and Ateshi. But now though, Zell does move out. So it does move out, and so far just getting a scout on what's going on. So far going to be a 2-gate opener here from Nihed. Likewise, Ateshi across the map going for his own proxy. We are going to be chronoing out our initial Dragoon. I say chrono. We're going to be pumping out our initial Dragoons. Likewise, proxy what? Proxy Robo here from Ateshi, setting up for what looks to be proxy Reaver. Let's go. Oh boy, so one base setup here, one base all in from Ateshi. Nihed is yet to really confirm. He is now moving out. He'll run into the Dragoons, and so far we'll make a pass those Steam Vets. Does engage. Again, Steam Vets coming into play. So far, backing off. Does pull away for now. Going for a Stargate opener himself. Going for a proxy Stargate even. Okay. Proxy Stargate into the expand. Of course, this should be for Oracles to wreak havoc to get economic damage done in the main base. Meanwhile, Ateshi, he does scout. He does confirm this gateway is going to be shut down. Yeah, the Stargate will not get up and running. And here comes the Bay. Here comes the proxy Reaver. Shuttle into Reaver, into shuttle speed, of course. I mentioned before that we did expect Dragoon Reaver to be the composition of choice. Not quite like this though. I didn't expect it to be proxied. So hybrid committed here from Ateshi. Does move out, shuts down the initial proxy Stargate. This does mean that the tech is delayed, going for a later Twilight Council and later Robo from Nihed. He's setting up here back at home, just now going for Hallucination. He is still yet to confirm whether or not there's an expansion. Hallucination moves out and up. Ooh, does barely survive. Whew. The scout is not denied, so big moment here for Nihed, but the Stalkers and Dragoons are already moving in. Yeah, trying to keep up, trying to hold on. Trying to hold on. Likewise, Reaver is still on the way. Expansion now being taken. A much later expansion here for Ateshi. And we'll see if he can break through. As initially actually dropping into the main. He has to be careful. I don't know if he wants to show his hand too soon. Yeah, he does. He does second guess himself there. Does drop those Dragoons, waiting for the Reaver. Has to calm down. Stalker Sentry moves out. There is going to be a recall available. Ooh, never mind. No energy for a recall. We might end up in a weird base trade. As Ateshi hits the natural, so will Nihed. He does hit the natural as well. Pushing in, catching a Dragoon. He commits. So does his opponent. Ooh, do we come back home? Uh-oh. Dragoons, they turn back around, they're racing back home. Pylon's gonna be going down, everything gets depowered. Remember, there was no recall available. Outside of a base trade, I don't think we can come back home here. Nice force field. Yeah, probes, they get locked down. And Ateshi, he's turning all the way back around. Not like this, every probe is gonna fall. And that's gonna be game. At this point, do we have a recall yet? Still, okay, we do. Recall now is available. By the time the army comes back home, yeah, there's just nothing here. Oof. Going for the Bay. Now he turns back. Now he turns back around. Ateshi turns back around, and at this point, now there's a recall available. Oh, never mind. Yeah, there's still one available, so he can recall whenever he so chooses. Shield batteries on the way, and there it is. There's that recall back home. Now the Reaver can still pop off. Can still break through. Boys being pulled. Oh my god, massive connection. Yeah, shot does go off and GG gets called. Ateshi has nothing left and Nihed will take the game. Will take a lead in the series. Whew. GG. Again, Ateshi, he was already at the front door. He was already across the map. We were ready here to commence the base trade. But it's a really hard call to make because the reality is that Ateshi doesn't know if there is energy for a recall or if there isn't. Regardless though, because he was already outside the natural, turning all the way back around was a brutal decision there from Ateshi. Clearly, I mean, by the time he did, he wasn't really able to do anything with it, so a really rough call to make, and with that, Nihed snowballs out of control. GG. GG, well played. It was a strong start for Ateshi as well. Remember, he was denying the scout, he found the Stargate as well. Like, there was some really nice moments there for Ateshi, but some rough decision making towards the end, and in the end, GG. GG, well played. Nihed does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Ooh, loading into Bloody Ridge. I've only casted one game on this map. I think it was during the StarCraft Evolution Masters show match. Bloody Ridge is a newer map. I say newer map. It's an older map, an older brutal map, but it's a newer map to the tournament map pool. So I'm excited to see it's being played out here. And once again, oh, jumping into a PvP. Let's go. Here we go. Why is Brutal Protoss on the Brutal side versus SE2 Ace? Oh. Excuse me. As we are jumping in and spawning in the top right hand corner, there of Bloody Ridge, we have the Hungarian Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss. Oh, it is Nihed. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the, oh right, I get what you're saying. Oh, kind of. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player. Once again, the Korean Protoss, representing among SE2 people, it is Ateshi. Here we go. We are settling in to have Ateshi moving out, going for his initial probe scouts. And Bloody Ridge is an interesting map. I think the thing that strikes me the most after seeing it the first time and now coming into it the second time as well is the lack of bases. There are very few bases here on Bloody Ridge. The bases themselves are also quite exposed. We have seen players struggle to maintain a third on this map, get a third base, let alone a fourth base. Jesus. So from my understanding, this is a very old map, which is a little bit as to the reason why the bases are a little bit less frequent, and it has its own unique kind of style to it. Very old school when it comes to its overall map layout, even compared to other Brood War maps. So interesting choice as to the reason why this was brought into the map pool. I would love to know kind of the rationale behind it. If it's just like, oh, you know, this would just be nice to throw in, or if there's like maybe a little bit more thought behind it when it comes to like the number of maps available and like the rush maps, the macro maps, and kind of what you want to step into. Maybe nostalgia. Hard to say, but yeah, interesting to see Bloody Ridge once again. Meanwhile, at Ateshi, we saw a proxy in game 1, another proxy here in game number 2. As the probe does hide here on the right hand side. We'll see what he does get into. Likewise, back at him, 2-gate opener, double Dragoon. We'll see if he does expand. Nihed, of course, does. Probe here on the high ground is able to, I mean, we already confirmed the expansion. Ateshi is fully aware. And we'll see what he goes for, as here comes that pylon, here comes that proxy. Meanwhile, safe robo opener here at Nihed, so robo first into safety immortals. So far, very solid, or I guess just very safe play here from our SE2 Protoss player. We'll see how Ateshi will approach this. I feel like there's potential with this proxy location just because it's so close to the wall and it's on the high ground as well. I was about to say, like, I can see like maybe like cannon rushers or shield batteries working, and there it is, shield batteries are on the way. Okay, let him cook, Pappy, let him cook. Shield batteries, they're going to be able to support the Dragoons. Likewise, shield battery for Nihed as well. You'll have the NG overcharge, don't forget that. Shield batteries, they finished quite quickly actually, oh my god. They haven't revealed themselves yet. Dragoon does head over. Delayed proxy robo. Robo was thrown down and no expansion from Ateshi. Ateshi commits. And the Immortal's already on the way for Nihed. I mean, again, this robo opener here is gonna, it feels like it's gonna shut this down real fast and real quick. If you have high ground vision, I believe you can probably actually fire the pylon from the low ground as well, like even from behind the wall. So that's also something to consider, and maybe a concern. Meanwhile, Dragoons, they do make their way in, focusing on that first Stalker. Shield battery out of NG, the Immortal has arrived. Oh, just in time. The immortal is out, second immortal's on the way. So far, not a single Dragoon goes down. We're still rallying across the map. It's still one base all in. Shuttles in production. Ooh, as the sentry gets targeted, nice pickup. Sentry goes down, second shield battery on the way. Hallucination does confirm. Now Need is aware. Shields, they get triggered. But now we have that second immortal. We'll see if he can hold on behind this. He's up to 2 gates. I guess 3. Oh no! He gets caught out. Massive pickup. The first immortal does not go down. Yeah, this survives. Clutch move there from Nehead does a pull back. He's got his sentry, he's got his force fields. First gate should fall. Now going for the Cyber Core. Cyber Core under fire. Shuttle is here to help micro, to help control. Nice force fields. Shuttle coming in though. One Dragoon goes down. Again going for the pylon. Yeah, that pylon is within range. Despite that shuttle, oh my god, Prism takes a lot of damage, does go down, no more high ground vision. And out there, does he have enough? The Dragoon's getting very low. Ooh, takes out an immortal. One immortal goes down. There's the NG overcharge. Stalker falls as well. And there might just not be enough here. Despite that, these Dragoons are so low. Reaver, let's go! Reaver's on the way. Shield Buddy's putting in a lot of work. Oh. Forces way in. Sentry goes down. Now the Sentry falls. Down goes the Cyber Core. There's no backup. Oh, no, sorry, there is. There is a backup Cyber Core in the main. And the head who was ready for this. Shield's triggered once again on that Immortal. He does have to pull back. Dragoon goes down. I mean, losing that War Prism was huge. Like, imagine this army with that Prism Micro with high ground vision. Alas, not anymore. And there she's built up to, what, 12 Dragoons? And should have enough, especially with the Reaver. Reaver coming in. Oh my god, almost goes down. Has to be careful. Down goes the Immortal. Down to 2. 2 Immortals remaining. Reaver headed for the mineral line. And that Nehead is just being pulled apart. Oh! Shot goes off. Trying to hold on. Shield battery out of energy. Yeah, overcharge is too late. And down to 1. And soon to be down to 0. At there he's done it. He sort of steps in. Takes down the Immortal. And will overwhelm. As boys are being pulled. Nehead getting desperate. Likewise, Reaver in the main base. 6 probes going to be going down. Up. Getting up to 9. The boys are helping, but now we're getting up to 2 Reavers. Second Reaver has arrived. And again, like a really just interesting location, just because the third base is on the high ground. It's on the high ground compared to the natural, which is crazy. So an interesting proxy location, making full use of it. GG gets called, and Ateshi ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. We are going to the ace match. And we'll see how the story ends as the PvPs continue here. Okay. For some reason I thought Nehead was a Terran player, but apparently full Protoss. As we're getting to the ace match, going to be loading into one of the more modern SE2 maps, going to be loading into Amygdala. Let's go. Here we go. Not all old by famous Protoss senders. Oh, yo, that's boomer speak. That's like, it's not old, papi. It's only, what, 15 years old? True. It's not old. Copium. As we're getting into, hold on. I need to screenshot this. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the purple Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss. Being forced into the ace match, receiving and bringing back from the land of Hungary, it is Nehead. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the pink Protoss player, the brutal Protoss himself, representing among SE2 people. It is Ateshi. It's like when Grubby talks about Warcraft 3 patches that happened recently, and it happened in 2006. True. Oh god. I mean, to be fair, I think we do that with StarCraft 2 as well. Like when we think of recent changes, like I definitely think of changes like even like just pre-COVID, for example, like 2019, 2018, and then it's like, oh, it's been years, baby. Oh no, it's been so long. It's understandable. Just needed a 2-player brutal map to replace Monty Hall. Ah, Smurge. Fond memories of Monty Hall. Fond memories. For now, though, once again, 2-gate openers. Oh my, never mind. 2-gate openers all around. Interesting wall off here from Ateshi. Let's go. Sets up the pylon. And once again, every game so far, Ateshi has gone for a proxy. He's gone proxy robo, at least in one way, shape, or form. Every game so far. And we'll see if that trend continues. As Zella does power walk across the map. Likewise, Ateshi checking for pylons. Third pylon placed here on the low ground. So Kneehead will look to expand. And I don't see a second probe. Okay, Ateshi, are we going to take a natural? Are we going to expand? Are we going to saturate? No shot. My eyes are on the probe. Where are we headed? Meanwhile, Kneehead does go for a robo before expanding. I mean, it makes sense based on how this series has played out, based on the hyper aggression of Ateshi, is going for a safe opener, but Ateshi does expand for the first time this series. Let's go! So we do have the natural being taken. Ateshi setting up here on the low ground. And suddenly, our purple Protoss will have the opportunity here to commit to an all-in. Yeah, let's go. Third gateway has been thrown down. The turrets have tabled. One base all-in here from Kneehead. Meanwhile, Ateshi is going to be the defender. Let's go. Does go for a robo opener. I mean, not many other tech options, to be fair. Is going for the robo. Setting up for eventually his own defensive reavers. And we'll see how this all comes together. As usual, Immortal's on the way. Immortal is in production. Likewise, third gateway here from Ateshi. Robo is out, Prism is on the way, and soon Kneehead, he will commit. He will move out across the map. Now Ateshi, he's going to be proactive here. He's going to move out with his own army to engage ahead of time. This is dangerous, especially against the Immortal. The problem here is that Ateshi has no idea what's going on. He has no idea. For all he knows, there could be an expansion, and he might get caught out. Now, nice spread. I was going to say best case scenario is that he does catch the Prism, but alas, it's not going to happen. Oh, does this hold these off here on the Stalker, trading 1 for 1. There we go. There we go. Catching at a second Dragoon, not bad. Second Dragoon goes down. Ateshi being chased down, and behind this we do have a shield battery. Second shield battery is on the way. No Reaver yet, just Master Dragoon. And with the power of this Immortal, I'll be honest, I'm not so certain that Ateshi can hold. Reaver's in production. Does kite back. Voids are being pulled. Nice force field, locking down the Dragoons. Takes down 1, 2 is going to get all 3. Likewise, our Toast Pilot going to be going down. Oh, we'll depower those shield batteries. Thankfully, the Robo is still going. Thankfully. Another force field. The Immortal gets surrounded, but the Dragoons are going to go down one after the other. The Reaver is still in production. It may just barely pop, but this might just be too much. They're warping in the depths, going for the probes. Why not? The Dragoon is barely going to pop out. Dragoon, sorry, Reaver, what I meant to say. Yeah, the Reaver's out. Still needs a... No! Still needs a Scarab! Never mind! Never mind. The Reaver falls, and with that, Ateshi is being broken. He's being broken. We can still reinforce across the map with that shuttle, with that prism even. More boys are being pulled, down to 2 Dragoons. Down to 1. And with the adepts, yeah, these probes, they can't do much. GG gets called, and Nehead, he will take the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Does claim the series. He's had enough defending. He's like, this animal just keeps proxying me. I'm done. I'm just one base all in. Didn't even proxy. Commits to the one base all in. Unfortunately, ahead of time, Ateshi did bleed out 2 Dragoons. It was a brutal loss there, bleeding out 2 Dragoons ahead of time. Unfortunately, he had no confirmation as to what was happening. Basically, he face checked. He only scouted the all in with his line of Dragoons out on the map. He wasn't able to get a probe across or get confirmation that there was or wasn't an expansion. So in that, he found out by the army and yeah, bled out a little bit too much. Did get the Reaver towards the end. Unfortunately, again, no shot available. Did need the Scarab, of course, and was overwhelmed. GG, well played. Also, really nice force fields. Very nice force fields on that ramp. Looking down at Ateshi time and time again. And with that, Ateshi is out. And Nehead advances on. And I'm excited because Nehead, he's a player that, again, I haven't really casted and haven't really covered in StarCraft Evolution. I'm more familiar with the Korean Protosses, like Ateshi, like Prome, for example, like Rebellion. There are some of the European players that I have not been able to cast anywhere near as much. So I'm ready. I'm excited. Does advance on to the semifinals. Does advance on. Also, my apologies, I got ahead of myself here. Let's switch things over and catch up on the brackets. As Nehead does take the 2-1. We'll have to fix up that scoreline though. Beautiful. As we have our quarterfinals. Here. We have our initial PvP that has concluded. Nehead advancing on to the upper semifinals. Nehead waiting for the winner of Cut and DeWalt. Likewise, Prone versus ZaRDieNT also about to begin another PvP, and we have ZaRDieNT versus LetaleX as well. So I appreciate that we have some diversity. A lot of Protoss getting involved. Good to see Kots once again. Kots, I don't know how long his games are going to be. If you remember, last time he casted Kots, outside of a couple of years ago, as he used to play in Grand Platypus Open in StarCraft 2, but it was during StarCraft Evolution where he 12-pool drone pulled the hell out of Hero. And he beat him. Like, he did beat Hero with 12-pool drone pool. True. Did happen. So, Kot is an animal. He's an absolute animal. He's, of course, a Zerg player from Hong Kong. So, I look forward to seeing more of Kot. Likewise, up against DeWalt. Prone versus ZaRDieNT versus LetaleX. We have seen some ZaRDieNT, I want to say, in the previous StarCraft Evolution as well. In the StarCraft Evolution League. So, I look forward to seeing more of him. We'll see if we can avoid the PvP semis and PvP finals, as there's quite a lot of Protoss here. Oh boy, let's go. As up next, we have our next series. We're going to be jumping into our next matchup here involving Cut and DeWalt. ZVP. Let's go. Let us go. A lot of Protoss in round of 8, that's so typical. True, I should say, it looks like the issue that's plaguing SE2 is still plaguing StarCraft Evolution as well. The lack of Zerg, and to be fair here, lack of Terran as well, for this bracket. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the pink Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, representing Team Hyper 1. I mean, I did just mention it, so it shouldn't surprise me. Going for the 12 pool, it is Cut. God damn it. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, or the top corner, I should say, the top corner of Sylphid, we have the yellow Protoss player, the SE2 Protoss. It is DeWalt. Now, welcome one and all to a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn bottom left, bottom right, and top center of Sylphid. So we can see Kot is going for a drone scout towards the top side and Overlord scout on the right-hand side. Remember, he is 12 pooling, but he needs to know which direction to point his 12 pool in. You know, do we go top? Do we go south? Do we go left? Do we go right? Kot is still figuring that out, and soon he will. Now, the drone scout is going to be a tell. Like, it's very odd to see a drone scout this early on without good reason, so DeWalt should be suspicious of this drone. As the drone does come in, DeWalt's now aware. Link production has begun, and the boys are being pulled. So 12 pull, drone pull. I mean, hey, this is how Kot beat Hero. True. Hero, best Protoss player in Korea, best SE2 Protoss at least, did go down the cut. What can DeWalt do? Let's go. As DeWalt, he will scout, he will confirm, he gets eyes on all the drones, he knows what's going on, he is aware, he's trying to wall up. Zelt's on the way. And the drone is here to block. The drone, oh my god, takes out the probe. The probe goes down, another boy is being pulled, but it's too late. It's too little too late. The drones have arrived, they're going for the pylon. If they get a surround, they can just end the game here and now. Yeah, drones, they come in to make sure that the wall is open. Yeah, there is no block off. Zeld has arrived, Lings as well. Zeld gets surrounded. Yeah, Zeld is completely surrounded, and this may just be game. Likewise, probes are being pulled, the Zeld goes down, a pylon under fire. And without that pylon, I mean, what can we do? What can we do, Pappy? What can we do? As, yeah, the pylon is going to be targeted. The boy is being forced back. 9 probe kills. The second Zeld does not pop out. And that's game. That's game, Pappy. That's game. Then, you know, I was looking forward to some longer games. I was looking forward to some macro games. So far, nothing but cheese. I'm not too opposed to that either, I guess. GG gets called, and Kant will take game number 1 against DeWalt. GG. GG. Whew. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this is how COD actually made it here to the quarterfinals as well. Just pure 12 pool drone pools. God damn it. GG, well played. Does take lead in the series, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Oh boy, we'll see if COD does expand this time. We'll see if he expands. We'll see if he does go for, once again, the 12 pool as we are loading into Frostline. Let's go. Dark did the same thing weeks ago. Yeah, so did COD. Again, just to reiterate, COD, it was last month. It was last month where COD was able to 12 pool, drone pool, hero. So doing more of the same. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in. He's droning. Okay, let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have our pink Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, representing Hyper 1, leading the series 1-0. It is Cut. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the yellow Protoss player, the brutal Protoss. It is DeWalt. Let's go. Just catching up with the chat. Guys, remember that recent patch when they removed Cater and Amulet from the Temple Archives? Oh no. Smudge. Guys, remember that patch where they reduced the bunker build time by X amount of seconds? It's crazy. Aye. But COD is droning. He's droning up, is going for a hatch first opener, so it looks like we're going to be slowing things down a little bit here, and COD is building up. Going hatch, gas pool, more or less a standard opener, and DeWalt is going to be able to embrace his own Protoss. Initially going 2 gate opener into expand from DeWalt. So we are going to be setting up and settling in. Now, when it comes to Frostline is one of the larger maps in the map pool. True, it is a larger map, but it's also not the most defendable map. We've seen a lot of Protoss players, or a lot of players in general, struggle to defend on Frostline. The reasoning for this is because of how open the third bases are, whether it's the linear third base or the southern third base, very open. It's a little bit easier to attack. It's a little bit easier to get a concave on the defending player. So because of that, we've seen a lot of Protoss players invest quite heavily into site defense, into defense in general, to try to survive that mid game if we get there. Assuming that COTS would be one to, you know, drone up, saturate, and look to go for 3 base aggression. Likewise, the bases are also very spread out, very isolated from each other. But I look forward to a longer game state. COTS, he does scout the 2 gate opener. Zelts are on the way. We have the initial spine crawler here out of cut. Queen popping out as well. And he should be safe and sound here. His drones at least. And Zelts are forced back. Again, DeWalt building up to 6 Zealots. He's got 4 already. He's got 2 more on the way. Mass amount of Zealots. Again, there was a delay on the Cybercore. I mean, there is no Cybercore period. Just mass Zealots. So COTS reading this well. Once he saw the initial opener, threw down the spine crawler, and he should be safe. Should be safe and sound here. I would say from here he should be safe to drone, but God, he's still making more lings, waiting for ling speed. He's not droning. He's not droning up, massing up even more lings. And this time, a little bit less certain of. He's going to be that much more committed, and his goal here should be to try to catch out these zealots ahead of time before they get to the shield battery, before they get hurt. As ZaRDieNT, he races back, ling speed still not done, and we're still making we're still not droning. We pull the boys! The boys are being pulled. Cody commits. I was like, oh, maybe we can expand, maybe we can drone, maybe we can macro. Nah. Not from Cod Bappy. But the problem here is that he didn't get this around. He did not want. What is happening? We're going for proxy hatchery? Okay. I guess. We're going for like a spine rush setup, but this is so late. It's so delayed. Stargate's already in production. Forge as well here for DeWalt. COD has no drones whatsoever. This is going to take so long to really get going. By the time it does, we're going to have what? Some scouts? Oh boy. Now, the hope here for COD is to drag the army out. True. If he can drag out these zealots and try to bait him out into the open and get a full surround, like that'll be ideal. Scout is on the way, as we did mention. More lings moving out. And will the delayed spine rush work? As we do have a cannon on the way. DeWalt hasn't seen much, but is playing safe. He's playing it out safe here. Oh, the first spine crawler uprooted. God damn it. It's gonna be 3 spine crawlers here. Going for another hatchery? Okay. Oh no, okay. It's going for creep. Yeah, never mind. Spreading creep. There we go. Scat does confirm. Now he's aware. Does force out the zealots. And here comes the surround. Hey, lings, they collapse in. They do get a surround. Nice catch here from COD. The bait worked. Still not the best trade here. The zealots, they can hold their own for a time. But the zealots are being cleaned up. Jesus, that shield battery putting in a lot of work. And you know what? He trades pretty evenly with those links. Oh my god. The power of the zealot. Mate, zealots are cracked. They're crazy. Despite the surround, DeWalt, he still comes out on top. The spy calls are slowly pushing in. Again, Brood War Zealots, they build different. They build different back. Oh my god. Spy is moving in. Behind this, we have, I was going to say some droning going on. We do have some drones on the way for more spine crawlers. So we have a wall of cannons and shield batters on the way as they also move in, and there might not be enough lings here. They're going to try this around. First spine crawler is going to fall. He gets the first spine. Okay, decent surround, out of range of the shield battery. Cleans up the zealots. Cleans up those zealots. Takes down the zealots. Gets within range of the first cannon as well. And this might be getting out of hand here. The bay is on the way. We don't have any additional sky. I was gonna say additional air units. It may not have mattered because of all the queens. Scatters across the map. And the wall is being broken. The wall is being broken. Down goes the gateway. Down goes the cyber core. There will soon be a Reaver on the way. Well, that robo is looking exposed. Spines are moving in. And again, Cort is slowly making his way towards that robo. Oh, the cannons! Oh my god. Mistransfuse. Does miss a transfuse. One queen goes down. Behind this Cort, he's still not droning. Just making workers here for more spines. Reavers in production. And is that Reaver going to be enough? I mean, there's no support, right? There's no more zealots. Soon to be no more gateways. Extra gates on the way in the main. DeWalt is in trouble. But these cannons are protecting this position. That's a lot of cannons. There's a lot of cannons, and the first Reaver is about to pop out. Oh my god. Some awkward movement there from COTS. Very awkward. Yeah, he just cannot get close to this. He cannot break this. Reaver has arrived. And he can start shelling away. Star shelling away, and now finally Cod is forced to drone. He's forced to drone up. He doesn't want to, but I mean, what else can he do? He cannot break this. And this is a late realization from Cod. Now going into his lair. DeWalt has had a better economy for much longer. His production now up and running, making mass zealots. And DeWalt is in a better position here. Like, this was just such a massive investment here for Cod. He needs to expand, needs to drone, needs to tech up. Getting into Ling Hydra, I would imagine. Potentially into Mutas. But at least this will buy time, right? This should buy time. We have a couple of transfuses available as well. Oh, despite that. Spinecrawler falls, Zelzay breakouts. And my biggest concern here as we clean everything up is, can these Zelts be dealt with? Answer is not right now. Not with those Lings. As Spinecrawlers are falling, Lings aiming from behind. Oh, they get us around. Oh, almost. Oh my god. Yeah, Scarab shots are brutal. Gets one Reaver. And the charge lots. The Zealots, they do overwhelm. And what is there at home to defend? There's nothing. There's nothing here. There's no Roach Warren. We're going for the Spire? Ay, ay, ay. These charges on their own, even without the Reaver, may just end the game. Yeah, Zealots, they can just move out. We can just send it, papi. Just send it. They can just move out across the map. There's no spines to defend. Again, the Spire is exposed. We have a couple of Queens and a handful of Lings. They'll do nothing here against those Zealots. Oh, they're so fast. Look at their legs go. They're speedy boys. And Lings, they can try to engage. But there are just so many of these Zealots. They overwhelm the Lings. Yeah, Lings do nothing. GG gets called, and DeWalt ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Going to the ace match here. Go to game 3. And we'll see if Cod expands and drones. It's something that he tried to do towards the end, but it feels like Cod, he was forced to drone. It doesn't feel like he necessarily wanted to. Forced to drone towards the end, and he was torn apart. We'll see. We'll see how the story ends as we load into Bloody Ridge. Let's go. Scarabs don't do friendly fire? No. From my understanding, they do not do friendly fire. As we are getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Bloody Ridge, we have the pink Zerg player. We have the pink Zerg representing Team Hyper 1 from land of Hong Kong, being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Cut. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brutal Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. It is DeWalt. Once again, loading into Bloody Ridge. Speaking of, is this the ridge they're talking about? Maybe. Maybe. We spoke about this map earlier, though. Again, there are just less bases, less expansions here on Bloody Ridge. Which might be what Cod wants. Likewise, a very narrow choke point here at the natural, so the natural is pretty well defendable. Cod does open up gas first. Gas pool opener here out of Cod. With this, we can, of course, prioritize and rush into Ling speed. We can go into earlier lair as well. We can set up for a Bane Bust, a Roach Rush. Cod has options. Does have options here with how he wants to use that gas. We'll see what it's spent on. But regardless, hyper aggression from our Zerg player as he goes for a very late expansion. So late expand here from Cod. Likewise, DeWalt once again 2-gate opener. This looks like 2-gate Mass Zealot, just like the previous game with a delayed Cybercore. So yeah, 2-gate into Nexus. This is the same build 2 games in a row. So we should be building up towards 6 Zealots. And I'll be honest, I'm concerned for Cuts. Cuts, he does get Link speed, but look at this, he stays in. He stays in gas, so this could be for a Bane Bust. This could be for the Baneliness into Bane Bust. We could go into Roaches, but usually when it comes to this kind of build, we'd go for a Roach Warren first and delay the gases. Oh, there it is. Roach Warren is on the way. So no Bane Bust, Lings into Roach. Oh boy. Now, the initial Zealots won't be able to get too much done, but as the Zealot count gets higher and higher, that's where I'm going to be more concerned here for Cut. Zealot moves out. The Overlord is fully aware, and he wants that first round. Pulling back to the second Zealot. Does try to pull away, buying more time. Zealot escapes. And he walls up. He walls up, he walls off. Again, seeing Lings this early on is somewhat of a tell, but the reality is that DeWalt does not know about the gas time. He doesn't know about the early gas, he doesn't know about the early tech. All he knows is early pool. And the scout is denied. Scout is denied. As he gets surrounded, I was going to say the Ling speed timing would be a tell, but he will not see Ling speed. Not anymore. Here come the roaches. Now, this should be a Ling Ravager all-in, where the goal is that the Ravagers focus down the wall, focus down the Zealots, they kind of create an opening. I'm still not entirely convinced, I'll be honest, but we'll see. It's just Zealots are pretty good. They're pretty powerful. Now, the ideal for COTS, I think, would be to surround the Zealots, lock them down, and then Bile. Similar to ZVZ. Like Ling Ravager versus Roach, for example. So we'll see if we can land those Biles. We want more Zealots are amassing. Army gets spotted. Does spot the Ravagers. Already under fire. Biles on the shield battery. Zealots try to chase him down. First Zealot goes down. Nice kiting so far. And you can see the Lings still amassing. Doesn't pull the trigger yet. Still going for the shield battery. Yeah, and with good enough kiting, these Zealots should never get on top of the Ravagers. I mean, the Roach Ravager on its own here doing well. Here come the Lings! Yeah, they come in for the surround. They collapse on the army. No more shield batteries. Lings, they get past the army. Into the natural. And DeWalt, he's being overwhelmed. He's being overwhelmed. He gets caught out of the open. Shield battery too little too late. And cards from here, he should have done it. Cannons are finishing though. Okay. Cannons are finishing up. One cannon goes down. Dragoons have arrived. And DeWalt, he's holding. Impressive. Oh, has to be comfortable to be surrounded though. Has to get out of here. Jesus, the Dragoons, they do so much damage. Catches out one of the Ravagers. Pulls away in time. And DeWalt, he's holding. He's holding on, bearing in mind there's no drones. There's no drones behind this, there's no saturation, there's no economy. He's only on 16 drones. He's completely all in. And there's only one Ravager left. Oh. Lings, they do slip past. And they rush past the cannons. Into the main. DeWalt out of position. Probe's under fire. With good enough drone drilling, he should be okay though. Yeah. Should be okay. We'll lose one drone. Sorry, one probe. Losing a second. Two probes go down. He is now forced to drone. We've been here before. Just like the previous game, he didn't want to drone. He didn't want to saturate. So this is late droning here from Kot. Now going into a lair. And I have to favor DeWalt. DeWalt is in a better position. The problem here is that he's droning, which means the army is lacking right now. Like, there's one Roach, one Ravager, a handful of Lings. This army here from DeWalt is looking terrifying. Once again, going for a Stargate opener, or Stargate follow-up. To hunt down that Overlord. And once the Overlord goes down, then DeWalt can push. Kot is getting ready for a Ling round by. The wall is open, so he could slip by after the move out. Just waiting for that scout. Kot is taking his third base, still droning, still trying to saturate. Lair is almost done. Now, DeWalt, he is not making additional Zealots or any additional gateway units here. He's actually going for a Robo follow-up, so that means he might not push. So we have a game. We have a game here. Yeah, DeWalt, he's not pushing, he's not moving out. I do feel like there was an opportunity, but at the same time, he doesn't know what he's moving into. True. So with the scout, he's gonna scout. Gets eyes on the natural, confirms saturation. Confirms all additional gases. A layer is done though. We're going into a Hydras. Thinks they're spotted. Scout pulls away. Behind this, here comes a shuttle. Most likely into Reavers. The Volti's being somewhat active. Takes down the active tumor. Hydras are on the way. But COD, he still has a pretty small army. Like, he still doesn't really have much to work with. It's still just 2 Roaches, a Ravager, 3 Hydras. Expansion gets spotted. And DeWalt, I do think that he could potentially break this location. Other queens make things more complicated, but what he can do here is go for the third. Go for the third expansion. Forcing reaction here out of his opponent, out of cut. Dragoons gets surrounded. Oh, the Biles! Oh, massive connections. Yeah, Dragoons are going down. Nicely done. Scouts, they try to respond. They're going for the Hydras. Likewise, they'll say catch out the Ravager. They try to. So far, a decent cleanup, getting all the Hydras. Yeah, 3 Hydras go down. But last, Koti will hold. He will hold on. As we're still rallying across the map. Hopefully we don't throw away the shuttle. Don't throw it away. Oh, turns back around. Oh. DeWalt does overextend. Wasn't the worst trade here from DeWalt, checking the overall units lost tab here. Did lose those 3 Dragoons though. Sniping 2 Hydras, 2 Roaches. Once again, rallies in, bit of a miss rally. Losing another Dragoon. And we have a game. We have a game, we have a back and forth. Kot is now saturating his 3rd expansion, taking his gases, getting into Roach Hydra. Meanwhile, DeWalt taking his own 3rd. His own 3rd base, building up into Reavers. So we have a game. Getting into the mid game for the first time this series. Let's go. I mean, after failed cheese from Kot. Reaver comes in. Oh. And only gets 1 drone. Not the best targeting. They're much better. There we go. 5 drones going down. Pulls away. Soul connection. Same time, scouts here towards left hand side. Major damage. What do we go for? The Hydras! Nice connection. Takes down 2 more Hydras. 2 Hydras go down. DeWalt barely escapes. That Reaver is so close to falling. He's building up even more. We got more Reavers. Taking up towards Archons, towards Storm. Kot's drone count is still very low. Like, it's still... unfortunately, he's still making more Hydras. He's still focusing on more army supply. So his economy is suffering. Now getting another expansion. Getting a 4th. I do favor DeWalt's position so far. That can change if we can take into Lurker Tech, if we can get, like, proper 4-base saturation. Then Kot can overwhelm, but he's not there yet. As the queens are off of creep. Uh-oh. Queens are off. Reavers are going for the queens. Oh, and they're going to be able to get them. No transfuse. Yeah, 4 queens go down. Massive catch. What are we doing here? They cut. Yeah, queens, they overextend. They get shut down. Now going for the expansion. Going for the 4th. Cut setting up a counterattack. There's a cancel. Back at home, there are still 2 Reavers to defend. Reavers back at home. DeWalt races back. Oh, moving in. Oh. Army gets spotted. Storm is done in 10 seconds. Still needs a little bit more time. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Reavers are coming in. And waiting for those shots. Waiting for those connections. Ooh, they're going to be massive. Does get the mineral line, though. Every probe goes down, but the army's going to be forfeit. Ooh, get a storm. Get the Reaver shots. Likewise, reinforcements, they catch a Reaver. Not bad. To at least get one Reaver. But that's also a brutal loss here for Cut. Throwing away the army he had built up over time. I don't think Cole would be in the worst position if he had his 4th base, but that was cancelled earlier. Still in a decent drone count though. 3 base saturation, not bad. DeWalt did have to pull the boys. But this army is still looking terrifying. Like, there's a lot of Reavers, a Storm. A lot to work with. Cult once again setting up for a counterattack, which means back at home there's not really anything to defend. There's, what, 5 Ravagers? DeWalt pushing onto creep. Cult, he responds. Out of position. He's racing back home. Does race back. DeWalt rotating over towards the 4th base once again. I mean, there is a lot of creep. True. There's a lot of creep to work with. Scouts, finally they go down. Reaver shot 2 on the Queens. Oh my god. The Queens, they get shot down. The drones, Mineral Line gonna fall as well. A nice storm on the Roaches, but they are Roaches. They can tank it. And they can tank the storms. It will save the expansion. DeWalt gets called out, losing all of his Dragoons. We rally it now. Rallies in the High Templar. And DeWalt, he will lose everything. He'll lose everything. He does get the expansion, does save the Reavers at least. But that was a big loss here for DeWalt. He does trigger the counterattack. DeWalt's coming in towards the 3rd base. Doesn't quite get any shots off. Oh, yes, he will lose everything here. Shuttle goes down, Reavers as well. He does get 14 drones, which is good, but not so sure that was worth it. As I'm terrified, I'm just terrified for the main army. How good are the storms? That's the question. How good are the storms going to be? Do you come in for a pseudo surround? Storms, they do pop up on the Hydras. Oh my god. Storms are pretty good, but not good enough. Yeah, the army gets caught, army gets surrounded, every High Templar goes down. Oh my god. Scott is forcing his way through. Yo, we got defensive DTs. Let's go. DeWalt, he's holding. He's holding the line. The expansion is a little bit ambitious. No, he doesn't check. No. Okay. He does confirm. Does check the expansion. DT runs into spores. And just does miss that transfer. DeWalt, he's still in this game. So in this, he does distract Kot. Kot, he responds here towards top left, which means he cannot defend bottom right. Uh-oh. Now, my biggest concern here is, obviously, there's no recall. There's no recall here for DeWalt. He does have 2 storms. By Templar exposed. No, the Templar! No! Get a storm off! Not quite. Yeah, 1 High Templar goes down. He gets a 2nd High Templar as well. 0 storms. And this army is going to go down. We have another reinforcing High Templar. Does waddle in, has 1 storm. Does connect. He gets 1 at least, but he'll lose everything. He'll lose everything here. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, rough engage there from DeWalt, losing everything. With that, Kot, he maintains his economy, maintains that 4th. And now there are 0 High Templar, 0 storms. DeWalt, he's been a little bit wasteful here this game, losing a lot of High Templar so far. And we'll see if he can get a 4th base, as he's been denied the 4th time and time again. He just cannot expand. I mean, we spoke about it before, like, it does feel like this map is a little bit older. It's not really built to take these expansions, or it's difficult, I should say, to maintain them. It is difficult, especially if you don't have map control. So actually able to get 6 drones, true. 6 drones go down. DeWalt taking bottom right. His army's in position, and this time he actually has an army. Let's go. We have 3 storms. 3 storms, 1 Reaver. His army split. His army is split up. So let's have a force towards the top side. So Kot does have the larger army supply, that is true, but DeWalt, he can hold his own against at least a portion of the army here, if they were to engage. I just get spotted. 4th base getting up and running. Now the High Templar moves in, and here comes Kot. And DeWalt, he should be able to take this fight, depending on the angle of attack. DeWalt, he has more than enough. The run-by is concerning, as there's not much of him to defend. Run-by's moving in. Now let's go. He's got his Dark Archon. Maelstrom on the way. Let's go. Kot looking to engage. 2nd army coming in from behind. And Kot just causing a distraction, coming in for the surround. And DeWalt, he's getting caught. DeWalt, he has to pull away. Yeah, nice, very nice storms. Yeah, storms on the road. Oh my god, he just runs through the storms. He's crazy. Does run through. Does take the storms to the face. More storms coming in. Oh, and the Hydras do melt. Just barely. DeWalt, he does hold on. Does defend. He does run at a High Templar and runs out of storms. Roach is moving in. Does move in at the same time. Reaver harass. Not getting much done. And Cody just remax. And the problem here is that, again, DeWalt lost how many High Templar in that fight? 7. 7 High Templar went down. If he had preserved them, different story, but without them, Cody he just overwhelm. He can just overwhelm the army. He can overwhelm the base. Without storms, without High Templar, this expansion should go down. Star steps in. DeWalt out of position. And there's no saving this. Like, there's no saving this expansion. Bringing down the base, bringing down the mineral line. DeWalt trying to engage, but he just cannot. Can't even taking the center. Oh god, taking the center expansion. Not like this. Not like this. It should bring it down at least. Oh, once again, moving in from multiple angles. There's maybe 1 storm, if that. Now the High Templar comes in. Decent storm. But we get the surround. We get the surround. We come in from behind. Oh my god. Reaver shots are brutal. But the army here is even better here for Kot. He gets a full surround, cleans up the army. GG gets called, and Kot will take the series 2-1, eliminating DeWalt from the tournament. GG. GG, well played, Kot. He will take it. Again, a very intense series here, and there were definitely a lot of strong moments for DeWalt as well. As a reminder, this all began with a gas first build. It was gas pull into hatchery. It was initially a Ling Ravager all-in out of Kot. DeWalt did survive. It was a very impressive hold. Don't want to take anything away from DeWalt. He had a very impressive hold at the start of the game. He was able to defend, able to survive, able to even counterattack as well. But when it came to trying to establish his third base, let alone a fourth, that's where he had some issues here. Colt was able to reestablish his economy. We saw DeWalt take some really rough trades where he was rallying across the map, where he was just throwing away High Templar, throwing away Reavers, just really expensive losses there early on with his spellcasters, meant that he kind of stumbled his way into the mid game. And we saw, despite him eventually establishing his third base, he never got his fourth. He never really got his fourth base up and running. Again, the fourth base on this map of Bloody Ridge is very isolated. It's very vulnerable. It's just really far away and just separated from all the other bases. And as we saw, DeWalt just had a very hard time expanding and holding on to that base. GG. GG, well played. Kot does claim it. And with that, leads us into our next series here. That leads us into another PvP. We're going to be jumping into Prome versus StarRat. Let's go. Just catching up in the chat. The attack on the base costs more in Scarabs than the loss of canceling. Yeah, we were seeing that earlier. If you're talking about when the Reavers were trying to deny the base on the top left, it was just really expensive. Reavers, they can attack buildings, but at times it might not be the best idea. It's catching up. By the way, like, those little tips that show up at the start of the game should fade on their own, so you won't need to click on them. Oh, okay, nice. I wasn't aware. I always just click on them and delete them. But thank you. Why are the Dragoons? This is StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod. It's a mod in StarCraft. Shout out to those that did respond. But yes. I'm surprised there are no more things that are totally broken between Brutal and SE2. This mod is specifically balanced and designed for competitive play between Brutal and SE2. So if there were something to be a little bit quote-unquote like broken, then I would imagine the team would be working to like fix that. But like, this is, again, like it is being balanced and designed specifically to be competitive. Oh my god, as we are getting into not a PvP, we're getting into a PV random actually. Okay, let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of oh god, what was the name of this map? Vermees? I think it's Vermees. In the top right hand corner we have the South Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss. It is Prome. Vermeer, that's it, Vermeer. Thank you. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player. I should say, we have the random player rolling Brood War. It is StarRat. Let's go. As we are settling into our PV random, welcome on all to Vermeer. Vermeer is another one of the quote-unquote newer maps in the tournament map pool. It was added relatively recently, I think last month, I want to say, or maybe even less than a month ago, was added, and is another older Brood War map that was ported in. And of course, as you can see, 4-player spawn. 4-player spawn where we have top right, top left, bottom left, and bottom right. 4 possible spawn locations. We can see both players, they do scout horizontally, looking for their opponents. A little bit more important for Prome because he does not know what he's up against. He's still trying to determine whether he's up against Protoss, Terran, or Zerg. Let's move in. And Prome, he will be the first to confirm. So he will scout his opponent. As StarRat is going top right. And Prome, he does come in bottom left. And he will confirm the 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of StarRat. Also confirms that he is Protoss. And StarRat, he will get eyes on the cross spawns here of Prome, or diagonal spawns. Here we go. Mr. DeWalt game just ended, man. It just ended. It was a very chaotic series, is what I will say. It was very chaotic. I did appreciate that we got some macro out of the ace match. Likewise, we have Prome going for a 2-gate opener himself, looking to expand. Likewise, so should StarRat as he moves out with his first Zealot. Oh, shout out to the SCEvo mod. The logo. One of the more interesting things about this map is are these little points of elevation. We have these I guess ramps, or these points of elevation here scattered throughout the map. High ground is that much more important in StarCraft Evolution. For those that are maybe unaware, there is a mischance. There is a mischance now that was recently added. I say recently, I think it was back in like January-ish. January, February. Was added where now they do include the mischance here, which was removed in StarCraft 2, but now reintroduced into StarCraft Evolution. So high ground and of course tall grass and obscured vision is that much more important. Star does engage, does catch out the stalkers. Does try to catch him out. Oh, does outrange. And will force back Prome. Not a bad stop, but Prome does save the Stalker. And with those reinforcements, he should be able to hold on. One Stalker does go down. Nice pickup. Nice pickup out of StarDieNT. StarDieNT back at home does expand, going for a Robo follow-up into Reavers. Again, Dragoon Reaver is kind of like the foundation of a lot of builds and a lot of compositions in almost every matchup with Brood War Protoss against Terran, Zerg, and Protoss. So it does go Dragoon Reaver. As the Bay is on the way for a shuttle speed for the Reaver production. Loving the start. He's hiding here in the tall grass. Let's go. And back at home, Prome is expanding. He expands, likewise Robo Opener out of Prome. For those that are curious, we did mention this in the previous PvP, but Robo Openers are a little more commonplace from the side of SE2 against Brood War Protoss. Instead of going for Blink-based openers, going for Immortals, just because they have more value up against Dragoons. So it is very meta and very common to go for the early Robo and the early Immortals. More so than in regular SE2 PvP. Meanwhile, nice catch. Oh! Gets a couple of volleys off. One Dragoon goes down. He gets one, he gets two. Yeah, StarDieNT is overwhelmed. Behind this, no shield battery. Uh-oh. Yeah, late shield battery here out of StarDieNT. Aye, aye, aye. Yeah, late response, late reaction. Stalkers are getting to the mineral line. Oh. Going for the Dragoons. Nice kiting. Very nice kiting. Does pull away. Stalkers, they don't get too much done here so far. Getting 3 probe kills, getting 4. 4 probes go down. Reinforcements have arrived, and StarDieNT, he holds. Ooh, he does hold on. Prome has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Reaver's coming in. He's going to be forced to fight. Scarab shot going off. Oh, not quite. Not quite yet. Prome dancing out of range. Just on the edge of range there of that Reaver. And he pulls back. Whew. He does pull back. Building up more Immortals. Now, upon seeing that Immortal start, he also knows that it was a Robo-based opener. He also knows that there should not be a Twilight Council and Blink. So going for this Reaver drop here is relatively safe. Has to be careful though. There's a lot of value here in this shuttle. A lot of resources, I mean to say. StarDieNT moves in. Behind this, saturating his expansion, building up more Reavers, getting into more Dragoons. Does head towards the mineral line. Prome coming in from behind. Oh! Nice shot. Get 6. Get 6 probes. But the shuttle is going to go down. Yeah, it's going to go down. It's going to be a one-way trip. Shuttle speed done. Not in time. Shuttle speed is still not done. And the shuttle will fall. Massive pickoff. And again, that shouldn't have happened. Typically, shuttle speed would have been prioritized a little bit sooner. Still gets 9 probes, which is good. Still a Reaver going down. And now it's time to counterattack. Prome's pushing. Does move out. Does move out. He's got 1 Reaver back at him to defend. We'll see if that's going to be enough. Shout out to the Ursidon. Let's go. As Prome does push. Catching out the Observer. Likewise moving in. Oh my god. It does avoid the Reaver shot. I think just barely. Yeah, it does avoid it. Clutch pickup. Now behind this, Prome is just containing, just expanding, getting his third base. He doesn't need to push in, doesn't need to break this position. Just contain the red Protoss for as long as he can. So we can see start trying to break out. That triggers the shields. Triggers the shields, working towards the Citadel, working towards LetaleX. Let's work towards them. And so far, so good. Again, we're just getting into a bit of a lull period here. And again, the goal for Prime is just contain. Just contain. Just park outside. The Reavers can help break out. As now getting into a second Reaver. ZaRDieNT trying to sneak out as well. Going for his own Zealot run by. Oh, getting another observer. Nice pickup. Blink is not yet done. Bit of an overextension. Bleeds out a Stalker. Does bleed out. And, I mean, the problem here is that we do have defensive warp-ins. There are some cells moving out across the map. They can try to wreak some havoc and get some economic damage. Oh, nice snipe. Oh my god! That was, what, 2 Reavers? 2 Reavers go down. Brutal pickoff. Ay, ay, ay. And just like that, Prome, his Reaver count almost reset. Down to 1. 1 Reaver left. That was a brutal snipe. Oof. Getting another. Now Reaver count gets reset. Master Goon trying to break out here. Just try to. We have 3 Immortals. They're going to be focused down. The 4 Prism as well. Nice pickup. Denies the warp in. But the Immortals do so much here in the back line. They focus down the Dragoons. Celtic coming from behind. Not bad. Tanking shots. But again, this is still a better trade here for Prome. He got 3 Reavers earlier. Finally, ZaRDieNT, he breaks out. I say that, reinforcements have arrived, Blink is done. And never mind, he cannot break out. He's contained. He's contained here on 2 bases. Ooh, forcing the Blink. More reinforcements on the way, getting into Adepts. Glaives is done. ZaRDieNT trying to break out. There's the 3rd, now being taken. Likewise taking his gases. Whew, okay, and we're out. We have broken out. Prome getting a 4th expansion. Still being active. Oh no, oh, the Ursidon! No! Prome. He's an animal. Leave them alone. Now, something that he's going to be hoping for here is to try to slip past the army. Of course, the SE2 Protoss army is more mobile than that of Brood War, so he can go for the mineral lines. Likewise, Reaver's looking very exposed as well. Army gets spotted. The army is spotted. I'm looking for a way in. Yo, Storm is on the way. Let's go. Reaver shot goes off. Just on 1 Stalker. Oh! Reaver shot gets dodged. Nice blinks. Now, Storm is a really rare sight in regular SE2 PvP, but here Storm does hit different for Brood War. As the Reaver's going to go down. Massive pickup. Nice snipe. No more Reavers. And Dragoons are getting caught out. Storm is still not done, only halfway complete. And with that, Prome, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm this army. collapse on top of the Dragoons, getting the others. Again, that Templar trying to move in, but they can't do anything. They cannot touch this army. And Prome has done it. He's finally broken the back of StarDieNT. Again, just containing earlier. GG gets called, and Prome takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Does take a lead in the series. Again, some massive pickups there with those Reavers, or I guess with the shuttles and the Reavers as well. Prome doing a great job at containing, and it can be quite difficult to break out in that position. We did see attempted run-bys and attempted drop play across the map with the Zealots at least, but alas, for the most part, Star just could not leave, could not escape, and with that, GG. Prome takes a lead. Does take a lead, and we'll see if StarDieNT, what he rolls on this time. Remember, he does, or he is playing random, but I'm curious if that's only for Brood War. Oh. As we are jumping into game number 2. And the roles are reversed. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the Brood War Protoss player, the pink Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is Prome. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, or the red Protoss himself, from the land of Taiwan. It is StarDieNT. I believe this time picking Protoss, not rolling random. For SC2. For the SC2 side of things. So another PvP. We go. Just catching up with the chat. I think we added Mischance back in December-ish. Yeah, potentially. That was relatively recent. It was after the StarCraft Evolution Full Championship. It was after that. So I want to say like December, January. Why is it always Brood War Protoss? I mean, we were covering Brood War Zerg earlier, if you missed out on the games. And likewise, we cover a lot of Brood War Terran whenever we cast some of the other pro players. Bearing in mind this is Code A, so we're not going to be featuring players like Han Mono or Quantel or Kiwian, for example, or Spirit. When it comes to the other Terrans or other Zerg players as well, like 3 Point. Or, there's another Zerg I'm thinking of Rumiath, that's it, like 3 Point or Rumiath. I'm actually curious, I wonder if Rumiath qualifies for Code A. I'm not sure what Rumiath's MMR is, but maybe. Don't know if he's eligible. Oh my god. Prome, calm down. So far, we do go for a Robo opener here from StarDieNT. Robo before expansion. More of an aggressive start. Likewise, Prome doing the same, going for his own Robo. StarDieNT setting in for his expansion. Prome, I'm sure, looking to do the same. Why doesn't he poke with his Reavers? Is he afraid he might have Blink? I mean, we saw him attempt to poke with his Reavers and did lose them. So they're quite fragile units, unfortunately. Quite fragile. Here we go. As neither player has yet to expand. Immortal production has begun. Likewise, Reaver opener out of Prome. As we mentioned, and as we saw in the last game, in a different dynamic, but Reaver openers are very commonplace here in PvP. In Brood War versus SC2. So is going for his Reavers. Head up, stay Thread in the Shade. So far, Prome does wall off. He's keeping up. Keeping up with StarDieNT. Catching out the first Adept. Checking his vision, he may have barely got a glimpse of that shuttle. StarDieNT does turn back around. Going for his own Prism, still no expansion. StarDieNT, he will soon have the minerals for it. Yeah, there we go. Now going for his Nexus. delayed natural here for ZaRDieNT. But he's got his immortals. Likewise, Probe does push. Setting up for his own Reaver drop. He doesn't prioritize shuttle speed. Just bear that in mind. So going to be a slow drop coming in. Oh, Lackbash Dragoon's getting caught out. Nice force fields. Yeah, getting one, getting a second. Oh, barely not. Getting one Dragoon so far. There we go, gets a second. And we do see Prome getting caught out. Reaver's coming in. Oh, does connect with the Stalker. Not bad. Gets one, gets the other two. Going for the Immortal. Oh, doesn't get it. Hot pickup. Nice control so far. He dodges the Reaver shot. Moves in. And Prome's in trouble. He is in trouble here. Oh. Has to pull back. Shot goes off, takes down the sentry, takes down the prism as well. And he will lose everything. He will lose everything here. Nice cleanup from Prome. Takes down the prism. I keep wanting to say shuttle. God damn it. Takes down the prism, takes down the Immortal. Moves in. Remember, late expansion for ZaRDieNT. He does have a defensive Immortal. The Immortal is out. Now being forced back though. Oh god, lack of speed here is hurting that shuttle. Shuttle goes down. We have a back and forth. Oof. Its reinforcements have arrived, but the Dragoons are so low. Yeah, they're barely going down. Still some nice kiting. Likewise, Prome also expands. Again, a later expansion for Prome. Losing another Dragoon. Lose another. And coming into this, I do favor ZaRDieNT. He did get the faster expansion. He's got better saturation, a better economy. He's building up his immortal counts, not just with the one. Now getting another. Second immortal's on the way. And there's no shuttle here for Prome. There's no defensive micro here. Or pickup micro, I should say. Star reinforcing. Prome on the back foot. Trying to go for that Immortal. Nice Reaver shot. Reaver shot goes off. Oh, gets a second. Immortal goes down. We'll lose this Reaver though. Oh my god, barely doesn't get that Prism. Prism barely escapes, but the army does not. Nice cleanup from Prome. Shuts down the army. Barely does miss that Prism. Adept's going to be shading in. Oh, good. Never mind. One Adept shades in. Yes, from here we can see Sai going for his own bait. Okay. Going for his own disruptors, I would imagine. Not something I was expecting here on two bases, but I'm here for it. So we have the bay on the way for ZaRDieNT. Prome moves out. Shuttle has been rebuilt. Still no shuttle speed. Has gained map control. Back at home, what do we have to defend? Two Immortals, we have some force fields. We have a decent defensive position here for ZaRDieNT. And I'm assuming these are going to be for Disruptors, not Colossus. Yeah, Disruptors on the way. Actually, I don't think I've seen too much of Disruptor versus Brutal Protoss. I would imagine it works beautifully, just because in regular PvP, you have this back and forth dynamic between Disruptors and Blink Stalkers, where you can avoid the shots and blink away, and avoid these Purification Novas. But here, Dragoons are that much more vulnerable. Meanwhile, let's pick off while one Dragoon goes down, trading one for one. Oh! Disruptor is revealed. Has to take care. Reaver shots are going to be going off. Massive connection, gets one immortal. Oh my god. Oh no, the shuttle! Shuttle goes down, Reavers as well. Massive pick off. And there goes another. And with that, GG gets called. Prome, he'll be overwhelmed. And StarRat ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. We do tie up the series and we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. We're going to be loading into Amygdala and we'll see who does rock Brood War Protoss this time. We have been taking turns in a way. We have been taking turns. And once again, it looks like StarRat is rolling random. And what does he land on? As spawning in the right hand corner of Amygdala, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the SC2 Protoss. It is Prome. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss player. Did pick random, but did roll Protoss. From the land of Taiwan, it is StarRat. We go. And again, last game it came down to unit control, came down to micro. Of course, StarRat did have the slightly better economy, that is true. But Prome did panic towards the end there, did take out an Immortal initially, which was an amazing start to the fight, but did lose the shuttle, did lose both Reavers. And alas, StarRat did snowball out of control. But the PvP does continue. We are settling into the ace match. And we'll see how this goes. We'll see who does advance on. We'll see where this takes us. Now, coming into Amygdala, this is a much larger map of the map pool. Because of that, I do think it's going to be a little bit easier for our players to take their naturals, take their third bases. The third base is also more defendable than that on Frostline. We spoke earlier about how on Frostline the bases are more open, they're more exposed. Here, there are some better choke points and some limited attack paths, so it is more defendable here to take either third location. But I might be getting ahead of myself because we actually haven't seen either of these players take a third in this matchup, in this series. Not yet. Now StarRat, he does open up with a faster Nexus, true. Does go Gate, Cyber into Expansion, or even Gate Expand. So much faster Nexus here from StarRat, and the pressure is now on Prome. Prome, he is aware. And my eyes are on this probe. So far, just using for scouting. Keeping it towards the top left. Doesn't hide his second pylon. So standard opener here out of Prome, going 2 Gate into Stalker. Into most likely an expansion. But we'll see. Okay, going for the Twilight Council before Nexus. Interesting. Getting into Blink. Now we can throw down a third gateway back at home and a proxy fourth gate. And go for a one base all in. It'd be a little bit more delayed. There's the third. Okay. There's the third gateway. Very aggressive. The probe does scout, does confirm. Big moment there for StarRat. And are we going for the proxy fourth gate? The probe is out there. Prome, he may be looking to punish the economic build of StarRat. There we go, Blink is on the way. The probe is selected. Yeah, probe is coming in, and we're setting up for the proxy. So one base all in here from Prome. Here comes the pylon. StarRat is searching. He does find the pylon. Massive scout here for StarRat. He knows. He knows what's going on. Starter steps forward. Takes down the first Stalker. Takes down one. Going for the other. Pylon gets denied. Massive pick off here. Which means no way to reinforce. And so far, Prome, he's stuck on 3 gateways. He's stuck on 3. Still trying to get that pylon up and running. StarRat's moving out. And Prome, he's having a harder time here. There's that fourth gate, but back at home. Again, this gateway was meant to be a proxy. It was meant to be a proxy. But it was denied. Meanwhile, Dragoon's getting called out. Losing all 3. Oh. Does trade. But we'll lose all 3. Another Dragoon. Let's go. Another Dragoon rallies in. Stalkers reinforcing across that, which means they're not at home to defend. There's no warp in. Uh-oh. Yeah, no warp in back at home. Nothing to defend. Gateways are on cooldown. There's the recall. Ay, ay, ay. So start, he does force the recall. Falling back. Behind this with his own 4-gate setup. Observatory's on the way. Getting to a 5th gateway. And right now, all Start has to do is defend. Just defend, just survive. Prome is completely all in. Completely all in at this point. Setting up another pylon. But these pylons are so late, so delayed. There's no safety shield battery here for ZaRDieNT, which is concerning. There's another warp in. Again, warping in 4 Stalkers at a time. That's a lot of Stalkers. It's going to be 10 to 7. 10 Stalkers to 7 Dragoons. Now moving in. Blinks forward. Gets one. Okay, it does overwhelm the boys being pulled. They can tank some shots. And remember, Start, he can afford to lose some probes. So far, he's holding. He's holding on. But again, still just warping in 4 Stalkers at a time, and the Dragoons are being overwhelmed, one after the other. ZaRDieNT just being a little bit too greedy in the response. Now getting into his own Reavers. Reavers on the way. Pylon goes down. Start, he's forced out of his own natural. Trying to move in once again. Is trying to. Likewise, just avoids the probes. Takes out 2 more Dragoons, down to 4. Yeah, 4 Dragoons left. Barely anything against 12 Stalkers. Now, the Reaver may change things. It may be enough. The last Prome, he just goes for the kill. He goes for the throw, takes out every single Dragoon. This is getting out of hand. Reaver, SimCity working against him. Diving on the Reaver. Shot does not go off. And that's game. That's going to be game then and there. There's just nothing to defend. There's 1 Dragoon, 1 Zealot, 2 Zealots even. And Prome has done it. Prome, he has done it. Getting 13 probe kills. Came with the production, takes down another Dragoon. Getting forced out of the main base, but he has done crippling damage. 13 probe kills. More reinforcements coming in. Base is under fire. Every time, the lack of Scarab is brutal. When the Reaver pops out. Not the first time we've seen that. Yeah, the pylon's under fire, diving on top of the Dragoons, one after the other. There's just 1 Dragoon left. Oof. And with that, Prome, he just has too much. Against ZaRDieNT, it did feel like he was a little bit too greedy in the defense. GG gets called. Initially had a strong performance, but Prome will take the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Prome, it was amazing that he was able to scout the initial proxy, deny the pylons, force the recall. Like, it was a strong start for ZaRDieNT, but it did feel like he was a little bit too greedy. What I mean by that, I mean, we kind of pointed it out towards the end there. There was no defensive setup, despite the fact that he was fully aware that it was a 1-base all-in and that he was ahead. There were no defensive shield batteries. There was no setup there at the natural. He was taking up towards his Reavers, that is true. He was taking up in that direction, but the natural was feeling a little more exposed, a little more vulnerable than it otherwise should have been. With that, went for the kill. Prome, he went for the kill, went for the throat, and did win the series. GG. Did take the series. GG, well played. Prome, he will advance on, and we have 1 match remaining in the quarterfinals. It's going to be a best of 3 between ZaRDieNT and LetaleX. ZaRDieNT, of course, being the only Terran player in the quarterfinals, as Kot was the only Zerg player in the quarterfinals. And here we go. We're going to be loading into Frostline. Now, ZaRDieNT, he's a player that I don't think I've seen much of in StarCraft Evolution. I've casted him before in StarCraft 2, of course. He's a more prominent player from the CIS region in StarCraft 2. In Brood War, less familiar. So I'm curious to see how he performs and curious to see what his shape is in. Oh my god. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our Italian Zerg player. I should say, actually random. He's random. He rolls on Zerg for the Platinum Heroes. It is LetaleX. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the pink Terran player, the pink Terran himself, representing Hokago T-Team. It is ZaRDieNT. Here we go. I'll fix up the player names. Hold on. I need to figure out the capitalization. Hold on. I think this is correct. Man. Yeah, I got you. Hold on. I'll fix the color. Close enough. Hold on. To have a lighter shade. Yeah. But here we go. We're getting into our TVZ for the first time tonight. Let's go. We have a Terran versus Zerg. It's going to be Hatch first out of LetaleX. Going for a Hatch pull opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, Racked Expand out of our Terran. But here we go. We are getting to our final round of 8 match. Now, LetaleX, of course, he is typically a Protoss player. So for SE2, he is Protoss, but for Brood War, I believe he does roll... No, sorry, I said he rolls random. My apologies. For SE2, he's Protoss, and for Brood War, I believe he's Zerg. Not random. Okay. Do I have to correct that? Give Dragoons blink. God, no. Bearing in mind that the Brood War Protoss is less mobile than the SE2 Protoss, that is true. To make up for that, that is where units like Dragoons and units in general, they are more beefier, they have more range, they do more damage. That is how that's balanced out. So, no, like introducing like SE2 like abilities and mechanics into Brood War is not within the spirit of what the mod is. Would you want to keep the races distinctly different? We don't want to, you know, turn them into each other. If you want that, I mean, that's what Starbow is, right? If you recall. It's been, I don't think Starbow is supported anymore, but Starbow was basically a hybrid, which incorporates like SE2 and Brood War into one race, and like it kind of like melds the two. That's what Starbow was a long time ago. And so now LetaleX just getting his third base, getting his natural hatchery or macro hatch setup as well. Starbo's team went on to make it. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's good to know. Good to know. I was curious. Things that do slip in, but that's really fun to hear. Avex, it's really cool. I know that the people that are working on Gates of Pyre, they initially, God, what was the mod called? Oh God, I want to say like it was like something like Nordic. It was called something. It was called a different mod in StarCraft 2 initially before Gates of Pyre. That's it, Vanguard. I was thinking Viking. I was like, it's not a Viking, it's not a Valkyrie or something like that. Vanguard, yeah, that's it. Kind of close. That's what it was initially called. But yeah, we hear updates from the Gates of Pyre team every now and then. Always cool to see. As LetaleX is link flooding, by the way. He's not joining. LetaleX is not joining up. He does have a bunch of bases, but he's just massing up nothing but lings. And he's going for the kill. He's going for the throat so far. Nice Sim City here by ZaRDieNT. He is walled up. He is walled off. For the most part, he is going to get surrounded, though. Yeah, he's out in the open. Best case scenario here for LetaleX. Okay, nice kiting here. Nice stutter stepping from ZaRDieNT. He will shut down these lings. Yeah, it does hold the line. The lings, they just melt. They evaporate. And this is a rough start for LetaleX. He was hoping for a surround. He didn't quite get it. Marines, they did slip away. And we're just making more lings. We're just committing. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Just still mass link here from LetaleX. And as long as ZaRDieNT doesn't move out, as long as he doesn't get surrounded, he should be fine. He should be fine. As I say that, he does start to move out, which is concerning. Sees the lings, has to back off. Okay, does pull away. Okay, he's playing with fire right now. Okay, there we go, there we go. Does recognize that there's mass Ling waiting for him, so he does fully wall off, and now he's just chilling here on 2 bases, getting a 3rd CC. This is going to be a 3-1-1 setup. ZaRDieNT looking solid, and LetaleX is in a rough position. You may be thinking, oh, LetaleX, but he has all these bases. That is true, but he's just now taking his gases, and his drone count is in the gutter. Like, his economy here is lackluster for LetaleX. All these Lings could have been drones. So he has to build back up, re-droning, resaturating. Likewise, we do have ZaRDieNT getting into his own starport. With the arrival of the starport, he can go for drop play, he can start moving out and start being active. Without medevacs, he's stuck at home. And this is where I have to question the build a little bit here. This was a 3-1-1, so very late starport by ZaRDieNT. So this is giving LetaleX more time to drone. Based on all these gases being taken, this could be Lings into Muta. I mean, it should be, just because if it was Hydras, we'd already see the Hydra dead. Bearing in mind, Hydras are hatch tech, not lair tech, so with the lair, should be Muta play. But they're still a ways away. There's a scan, sees the gases, that is the tell. Again, there's just so much detail here in the crevices on the new extractor. every time. But shout out to the art team, of course. Putting in a lot of work with the custom building models. Likewise, Melee's on the way. The lair is done. Shows the Spire. There it is. Spire is on the way. So Ling Muta here from LetaleX. But here comes ZaRDieNT. It does break out. I see the thought process from Vanguard to Viking though. Look, they both start with V. They're both like medieval in some sense. You know, it all melts together. I was thinking Viking, Valkyrie, we got there in the end. But now though, Lings, they do knock down that front door. Mass Repair does hold the line. Meanwhile, ZaRDieNT gets across the map. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing here. Lings, they do nothing against this army without banelings, without any kind of splash damage. The Bio army stims, and it wins. Takes down the expansion, 15 drone kills. And ZaRDieNT, he cannot be dealt with. He cannot be dealt with, not with Mass Ling. It's not gonna happen. We have the attendants around, and Zerg players, look away, baby. GG gets called. The Zerglings, they just melt, and ZaRDieNT will break out. We'll take game number 1. Whew, GG. ZaRDieNT does take a lead. Again, LetaleX, he was all in earlier. He went for just a mass Ling all in. The all in failed, and because of that, that's why he was vulnerable. That's why he was exposed. That's why the Spire was late. The lair was late. Any further tech or droning was late. It was all or nothing, and with that, ZaRDieNT takes the game. Does take the game, and from here, we're jumping into game numero 2. Now, this is loser's pick, so LetaleX, will be able to pick his race of choice, and now he can do what he does best. He is picking the SE2 Protoss race, his main race. Let's go. So we're jumping into game 2. We're jumping into our TVP. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Italian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. Oh, as I have to redo that. It is LetaleX. Un momento. Bam. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the pink Terran player, now the Brutal Terran representing Hokago T-Team. It is ZaRDieNT. Mate, that is a gold CC. I don't think I've seen it be this gold before. Oh, it's like blinding me. Oh my god. Mate, how rich is he? I feel like usually it's a little bit more gray than this. It's like a little bit more gray, a little bit more pink. Damn, he's pimped out. He's oh my god. For now though, we're settling in double gas opener out of ZaRDieNT, going for a faster factory before CC. Ay. It's blinding me. Meanwhile, we just see LetaleX setting up back at home. More standard setup here, wall off on the low ground. Does that mean we get Valkyries? They're great. I mean, potentially. Valkyries, of course, they're a little bit more of a niche unit. We do see them in ZBT against mutas, for example, if we ever really go to that kind of game state or got that kind of game mode. Against air, of course, against Skytoss, I suppose. If we ever end up on a island map, then we might see Valkyries come into play there. Fun fact, we actually haven't seen either Neo Isles of Siren or Paradox or any of the other island maps yet in tonight's broadcast. As ZaRDieNT is going double gas into first factory into a second factory as well. We are meching it up. So ZaRDieNT is going into mech. Again, mech is more viable here in TVP from the Brood War side of things. Vultures are just a very versatile unit. And likewise, Goliaths as well. To the point where Goliaths have been nerfed quite a bit. Even in the most recent patch, I believe the Goliath was nerfed even further, I want to say, in the most recent patch. But for now, we have Ion Thrusters going into Vulture Speed, into a Vulture Opener. Meanwhile, back at home, do have LetaleX setting up, going for a Stargate. Stargate Opener out of our Protoss. From here, we can open up Oracle, we can go into Phoenixes, get some scouting information. It is a little bit greedy to go for a Stargate, so we'll see if we can get away with it. So far, with the SimCity, should be okay against those Vultures. Okay. Now, there are ways to break this. Similar to the Reaper and the KDA charge, you can throw down spider mines in front of the wall and just force the wall to be opened up. And spider mines are being researched as we speak. Vultures move out, they poke at the front door. They should not be able to break through. Again, shield batteries in position. Marines are going down. Gets both Marines. But again, this wall is still looking a little bit vulnerable here. As the Oracle does pop out, making his way across the map. We're waiting for the spider mines. And again, ZaRDieNT is looking to break through this. The Vultures can't, but the spider mines can. And here they come. The spider mines are thrown down. They force their way in, head into the mineral lines. And even spider mines on top of the ramp as well. He cannot chase. Up! Yeah, Depth's gonna go down. Stalkers as well. Massive pickoff, and the mineral line is exposed. Every probe is gonna go down, and ZaRDieNT, this is getting damage. This is just far too much here. Probes are falling left and right. There's nothing to defend. There is gonna be the Oracle. Likewise, Oracle does get across the map. SCVs are going down. Meanwhile, Vultures are head towards the natural, and they get even more damage. Yeah, this is just too much. The one Oracle, he just can't do enough. It can't do enough. It's out of energy. 19 probe kills. Meanwhile, across the map, getting some SCVs, true. SCVs are going down, but these Vultures, there's that much more DPS output. They can chase down the probes that much faster. They're not NG based. They're not going to run out, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left here. ZaRDieNT, it looks like he will claim the series. I was hoping for a back and forth, hoping for an ace match, but no, not this time. Not here, not in this TVP. As the SCVs, they get some economic, the Oracle gets some economic damage, but the turret is done. The turret will complete just in time. And with that, we have 14 SCVs against 4 probes. Gets 4 workers, and there's still spider mines all over the place. The spider mines behind the mineral line, the spider mines here outside of the main. As a reminder, spider mines do not trigger on workers. Workers, they count as floating units, as you can see. They're like hovering on the ground, and these spider mines are like ground sensor based. So they do not trigger on workers. But they do trigger on anything else on the ground. I say that, like Vultures also count as floating units, true. They're hovering. LetaleX trying to poke in. But again, with that turret, should be okay. ZaRDieNT, I mean. Getting... oh! Another SCV. Another SCV goes down. Goliaths are online. We have our Goliaths. Spider-Man's being thrown out at all the third base locations. And we can see the LetaleX, he's slowly recovering economically. He's building up his probe count. But the army is going to be what's lacking. These oracles, they have potential, but they have to be careful. Counter engage. Oh, going for the Goliath. First Goliath does go down. Not bad. Going for the second, and we have the mass repair. Oh, just in time. Yeah, repair pops off, gets one oracle. There's one oracle left. He's fighting head on. He's going to go down. Yeah, LetaleX does overextend. GG gets called, and ZaRDieNT will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ZaRDieNT will claim the series, will advance on into the next round, and LetaleX is going to go down early on here. Again, I was hoping for a back and forth, hoping to sink my teeth into the more TVP or TVZ, but in the end, ZaRDieNT does prove too much to handle, and we have our quarterfinals wrapping up. Let's go. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Quarterfinals has concluded. We have Nihed advancing on over at Teshi. We have Kot taking down DeWalt, and we have Kot versus Nihed up next in the semifinals. In the lower semis, we have Prome taking down Starat, and of course ZaRDieNT over LetaleX. We have a PVZ and a PVT in those semifinals. Can we avoid the PvP finals? I hope so. I do hope so. We've casted a lot of PvP tonight already. Would be nice to take a break from that, but we'll see. Comes down to our players, come down to our opponents. It comes down to Kot and ZaRDieNT. We'll see if they can pull it off. We shall see. Just catching up in the chat. Reapers will also be floating units since they don't touch the ground. True, I believe. I don't know necessarily. Actually, Reapers, do they touch the ground when their jetpacks run out? When they're not moving? I think they do touch the ground. Not too sure. But there's a certain rule set regarding that, regarding like floating units and not. Regardless, that does wrap up our first series. Reavers are hover units, yes. There you go. They are. But we are going to be going on a short break here. When we come back, we are getting into our semi-finals. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and when we come back, we'll have our next semis. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we have returned. We have returned here with our semi-finals. We have 4 players remaining here in our tournament. We have Niehed versus Kot, and we have ZaRDieNT versus Prome. Here we go. We have our top 4. And again, welcome one and all to StarCraft Evolution. This is not StarCraft 2. I feel like every now and then people come in for the first time and wondering, hold on, why are there vultures? Why are there dragoons? What's going on? This is a mod that does bring together StarCraft 2 and Brood War and does pit them against each other. Let's go. Honestly, it's been a pretty popular mod. It's been getting a lot of support as well. Very regular updates, I should say. Very regular updates, patches, balance patches, and new maps being added to the map pool as well. So really cool to see all the support. And this is the very first Code A. The very first Code A we've been running, or I should say, the StarCraft Evolution League has been running for a good amount of months at this point, ever since the end of last year. Has been running for quite some time, but this is the first Code A edition. This is going to be a monthly tournament featuring not the pro players, but featuring just below them, you know, sub 5.6, 5.7k MMR on the ladder. Here we go. So a way to kind of foster new talents and a way to foster kind of the up-and-coming semi-pro scene in StarCraft Evolution. And we are jumping into our first semis. Jumping into our PvZ. Let's go. Loading into Amygdala. Now, I don't know how long this series is going to be. Kot is very cheesy. He's very cheesy. He's been 12 pooling. He's been going gas pool. He's been hyper aggressive so far. And that's what we've seen him even in months past. And I'm sure that'll continue. Yep. 12 pool. He's going for a 12 pool. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Hungarian Protoss player, the purple Protoss. It is Niehed. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent going for the 12 pool. We have the pink Zerg player representing Team Hyper 1 from the land of Hong Kong. It is Kot. Once again at 12 pool. Now, Kot, he has been known to 12 pool drone pool, so that's what I'm leaning towards here on Amygdala. I'm not too fond of the idea on this map just because this is a very large map of the map pool, long rush distance by ground. It's kind of what I'm leaning towards here. We'll see if Niehed is able to scout and confirm, as he should be able to. Yeah, the probe does move in. We have the drone across the map that is to throw down the hatchery, I believe, to wall up and to wall off. And it will confirm the lack of expansion and also the timing of the spawning pool and the lack of gases. So he knows, 12 pool. He's fully aware. He does scout, he is aware, he should be walling off with a second gateway. There it is, second gateway has been thrown down, and he's ready to wall. The drone has arrived. And the drone, its goal here is to try to focus on this probe, to try to create an opening. Here we go, the boys are being pulled, and Niehed does confirm. He does confirm. Extra probes here to the low ground. He ideally, yep, does wall off, does deny the hatchery. Nice moves. Cybercore has been placed. Chasing away that drone. The initial zealot here is being chronoed as we speak. We can set up a shield battery on the low ground as well. As he does fully wall. Does fully wall. The zealot has arrived. Getting a second zealot. Just buying time. Drones are here to focus on that gateway, and links have arrived as well. And that gateway will eventually fall, taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. Niehed, he's gonna have to pull the boys as well to save that zealot, make sure it gets surrounded. That's a late shield battery. Late shield battery here from Niehed. It's not gonna come into play. Boys are being pulled, but there's not enough probes. Yeah, not enough probes here. It gets surrounded, and that might just be game. That might just be game here and now. Niehed, he does underreact to the all-in. Zelda surrounded. Probes likewise. There's just not enough of them. Not enough. Not anymore. Zella will go down, and Kot will take a lead. He will take a lead in the series. Kills every single probe here. There's nothing left. Meanwhile, on the low ground, a pylon is focused down. There's one adept. Shield battery does barely survive. But we get this around. We get this around. The shield battery's out of energy. Pylon should be targeted. And there should not be another adept. Oof. As everything gets depowered. There's just one adept remaining. Tries to shade away. From here, we can just go back to mining. Kot can just go back across the map and go back to mining. GG gets called, and Kot will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. He does take a lead in the series. He is one game away from the grand finals. Again, Kneehead, he did underreact to the 12-4 drone pull. Again, he had a late shield battery. He did only pull a handful of probes where he underreacted instead of pulling every single probe, so that he just not really have enough to protect that Zeld to help support his Zeld either. In the end, GG. He was unable to buy enough time for that gateway, and we do have Cot taking a lead. Now we get into game number 2. We're jumping into game 2, and we'll see if we can force the ace match. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the, once again, Brood War Zerg player. The Brood War Zerg from the land of Hong Kong representing Team Hyper 1. This time he's droning. This time he's actually droning up. It is Cut. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Protoss player, the purple Protoss from the land of Hungary. It is Kneehead. Here we go. We are settling in. Great viewer experience with that strat. True, true. Man, he's here to win, Pappy. What do you mean? He's here to win. The 12-4 will not be stopped. For now, though, hatch first. For now, he's going for a hatch first opener, something more standard. Likewise, after game 1, Kneehead, he's going to be that much more attentive when it comes to his scouting. I'm sure he's going to be breathing easy once he sees the hatchery. Like, oh, thank God. So it does come in with the scouts. Again, is going to be a hatch pool opener here out of Cot into a spawning pool, so nothing crazy, nothing wild. Probe comes in, and it will confirm the timing of the pool, the gas, and the hatchery, so he should be feeling pretty safe. Should be feeling safe overall, and now we can get into a longer game state. (15-14), yes, that is a 15 hatch. This is what you do to make sure you do not get pylon blocked at the natural. So it is just a way to get your hatchery a little bit faster before the probe arrives. Otherwise, you'll be forced to take the unnatural natural. You could be pylon blocked and could be disrupted in the early game. So standard opener out of our Zerg. As Kneehead is settling in. Now, we did see previously, actually, I was going to talk about LetaleX, but we have seen some players try to skip tech and go into faster layers. If you were here earlier in the broadcast, you would know that Cod did go Ling Hydra previously, so that is going to be an option. He does stay in gas, true. So Ling speed is on the way, he stays in gas, which means we could take up into a faster layer or throw down a faster Hydra den. We'll see what that gas is going to be spent on. But it is notable. It is notable here. We're still mining our gases. Yeah, creep colonies on the way. Probe is going to be forced back, and Kneehead, meanwhile, back at home, going for a robo opener. Very interesting. Not something you see too often. With a robo, we have a couple of options. This could be early immortal production into sentries, into like a Soul Train 2 base all-in with mass immortal sentry, true. This could be something more quirky, like a robo opener into a bay into disruptor drops, or even Colossus drops if you want to be really fancy. If you want to go full Estrella or full NA. So that would be an option as well. I'm leaning towards immortals, but we'll keep an eye on Kneehead. Meanwhile, across the map, we have the answer. We were curious what the gas is going to be spent on. The gas is going to be spent on Hydras. So it is going to be a Hydra-based opener here by Cot. Going into Ling Hydra. Meanwhile, the robo is done, and we have the answer. One of the options was to go for either a Disruptor or a Colossus drop, and that's exactly what it's going to be. So we are going full NA. Of course, Colossus drop was popularized a little bit more by Nina. This was like, what, back in like 2020, 2019. Estrella in more recent years, it has still been quite fond of Disruptor drops as well. So we'll see which one we embrace. I'm also assuming it's going to be drop play. There's no Prism. Usually we'd already see a War Prism by now, so you can start up the Disruptor or Colossus when the bay finishes, but there is no War Prism. Second Cybercore? Hold up. Something's going on. let him cook, Bible. Let him cook. I think the second Cybercore is a bit of a mistake, unfortunately. Hopefully he does notice in time to cancel. It's going to be a Colossus opener here from our Protoss player. Throwing down a... Jesus, oh my god. overreacting to what's going on. Throwing down a wall of shield batteries. Again, Code is droning, by the way. Code is droning, Code is saturating. The second Cybercore might be intentional. He might believe that maybe his first Cybercore would have gone down, so really strong reactions here from Nearhead. I feel like this is a result of game one. Like the 12 pool may have broken Nearhead a little bit here. Like, oh my god. As this is a big investment here in the early game to the Colossus, to the shield batteries. Without a War Prism, there's no way to harass across the map with this either. And COD, he can just drone. He can just chill, drone up, saturate on 3 bases, build up Link Hydra. COD looking solid. Now from here, we can start taking up into a lair. The lair has yet to be researched, and the lair is where, the lurkers do require a lair to actually build up. So lurker tech is locked behind the lair. So just going to be Link Hydra for the time being. Overlord Scout is coming in. And Lings, they do slip by as well. Ooh, nice force field. Scout is denied, in a sense, as the Overlord does not quite get within range here of the bay, of the tech. But yeah, Nearhead just really safe play from him, as now he expands. And if he's not going for a 2-base all-in, and he isn't, he's taking, he's expanding, I do favor COD in this position, as long as he drones. My concern right now is that COD isn't droning. He's massing up Hydras. He has no lair either, so tech-wise, in a way, he's not where he otherwise would like to be. Likewise, he isn't droning. He's not droning, he's not saturating, he's still making more Hydras. Now, part of me wants to say that this isn't really going to be too successful because of all these shield batteries, but the fight is going to be taking place out at the third, out of range of the shield batteries. So potentially we could try to catch out these Colossus, potentially. We'll see as the Hydras, they come in from behind. Corti does get eyes on the third. There are 2 Colossus and a low sentries. They do engage. A nice force field so far. Corti's forced back. Colossus are revealed. And COD trying to collapse on this position. Coming in from multiple angles. Can he catch out the Colossus? And again, Cody's not droning. He's not droning. He is committed. Does dive in, coming in from behind. Collapsing on the Colossus. He's going to get one. He's going to barely get one Colossus. The other will escape. Oh no! Oh, can he get within range? Barely can. Whew. He gets within range of the shield batteries. Stalker's going to be falling. Do get an extra warp in. Cybercore goes down, but hey, we have a backup Cybercore. Let's go. Nearhead was ready for this. Likewise gets dragged out into the open. Colossus exposed once again. Oh my god, barely escapes. But the base is going to be falling. Yeah, Nearhead, he is torn apart. The expansion is going to go down. Hydras, they distract. And the expansion falls. Now we can focus on that Colossus. He wants it. He wants it. Can't quite get it. But the reality is that Cody doesn't have to push in. He does not have to push in. He's taking a lot of Colossus shots here. Taking a lot of swipes to the face. Shield batteries out of energy. And he breaks through. Yeah, he breaks through. Takes out the Colossus. There's 1 Colossus left. Hydras, they push in. And with that, he has broken Nearhead again. A bit of an odd build here from our Protoss player. It was just overly safe early on, rushing into Colossus, throwing down a wall of shield batteries, late third base, and in the end, he just wasn't able to keep up. He was caught out in the open, as we did mention. Initially, he was caught out of range of the shield batteries. And Corti does overwhelm. Lair is now done. A lurker tech is on the way. Remember, COD, he doesn't have to push into the natural. He can just chill, drone, and get into lurkers. COD is looking very comfortable here. As COD, he is just building up, just containing his opponent on 2 bases. And here come the lunkers. Lunkers are on the way. Oh. Lurkers are morphing in. Hydras are coming from behind, collapsing the army. Lurkers they do borrow. And once again, the army just caught out in the open, gets surrounded. And he should lose everything here. Yeah, the Colossus should not escape. They're going to be hunted down. And with that cut, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm once again, taking out the main army and going for the kill. And there's just nothing left. There's nothing here. There's one Colossus to defend. I mean, the shield battery is true. They have energy once again. They have their energy. See the chat. One supply Hydras are kind of broken. Again, if I failed to kind of portray this game, I do apologize. But once again, Nehead went for a very inefficient build. It was very inefficient, late expansion, really early tech. And yeah, as a result, he was punished for it. It was just a really odd start here from our Protoss player. And yeah, it was not ideal. So I do apologize if I didn't make that clear. But with that cut, he does break through. He does break through the natural. And with these reinforcements, Nehead might be able to barely hold on. Shuts down by the Zealots. And thankfully there is detection, true. There's the Observer. So the Colossus can shell away at the army, but GG gets called and cut. He will take the series 2-0. Will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. It did feel like Nehead got into his own head. We spoke about it before, but it almost felt like game one kind of broke Nehead a little bit there. I'm referring to the 12 pull in game one. Coming into game two, we saw some really what felt like safe play out of Nehead, which did put him behind. I'm referring to the wall of shield batteries. I'm referring to the robo opener without a war prism as well. So there was no counter play. There was nothing to harass across the map, nothing to be active, nothing to scout either. He was just stuck at home, just contained on 2 bases. And with that, fell behind. With that, did fall behind at Kot. He did have the option to drone. Like, Kot could honestly do whatever he wanted. Once he got up to 3 and 4 bases, he could have just droned and teched up and maxed out. But instead, he went for a 2.5 base timing. I would even say 2.5 base all in instead. And thankfully was able to catch a Colossus out in the open. Here we go. So from here, we're getting into our next game. All that they perform better than SE2 Hydras? Kind of. So the one thing that the Hydras do have here in Brood War, just to make this clear as well, just to emphasize it, Nehead had a rough start to the game and a rough build. But on top of that, I believe the Brood War Hydras do not have their light tag. They don't have the light tag, but that is also because the Brood War army does not have roaches. So the Hydra in Brood War has to take the role of both the SE2 Hydra and the SE2 Roach, as it is meant to be more of a robust unit, and it's meant to be more of an all-around unit as well. Just because other units, of course, aren't available. So that is why they don't have like the light tag. They're not as vulnerable to splash damage, for example. But with that, we're getting into game number 2. We're getting into, sorry, I said game 2. We're getting into our next semifinals. Gonna be loading into our TVP. Up next is going to be ZaRDieNT versus Prome. And for the first time tonight, let's go. We have an island map. I was a little bit concerned we were never going to see either Neo Isles of Siren or again one of the other more quirky maps, but we got there. We got there in the end. In game 1, we're dropping in. Oh boy. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Neo Isles of Siren, we have our South Green Protoss player. We have our Teal Protoss, or green? Teal? A little bit of both. Aquamarine. We have, for among SE2 people, it is Prome. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the brutal Terran himself. It is ZaRDieNT. We go. So we are settling into our island map. And now, as a reminder, if you have not seen this map before, it's 4-player. We have bottom right, top left, and bottom left. We have 4 islands in each corner of the map, or 1 island in each corner of the map. And on said island, we have 4 bases. We have our main expansion, we have our natural, we have our 3rd base, and we have a 4th base as well. So 4 bases on each island. There is a 5th island in the center of the map. And as you can see, each island here is separated by a very thin river here that runs through the entire map. Does cut the map into 5 or into 4 quadrants in the center. And because this is so thin, it does mean that you can reinforce and you can support from the other side. That is true, but because it's a 4-player spawn map, it's a little bit harder to get a read on where exactly your opponent is. Let's go. Let us go. Likewise, Prome going for his own natural expansion. Likewise, ZaRDieNT doing the same. Settling into this, we have seen some various ways to deal with an island map like this. Obviously, SkyToss comes into play. We have seen a couple of cheeky builds, specifically Rebellion comes to mind, where you can try to, if you're an SE2 Protoss, you can go for a ground-based army and then rush into a mothership and then recall across the map. That is crazy, but we have seen that played out before. Here for Brutal Protoss, the idea of rushing into Arbiters and recalling is less viable, so most likely we should be seeing SkyToss out of Prome. And there it is, Stargater. So we expect SkyToss out of Prome. From the side of our Terran player, from SE2 Terran, we do expect to see Mass Viking. We've seen Mass Viking be very successful. The problem with Mass Viking is that, or the issue with dealing with Mass Viking is that, of course, it is a robust anti-air unit and can also land for harass as well. So we'll see if we do go for, again, that Mass Viking play, or if we go into some kind of like mass drop play instead with multiple Raxes, with more Marines, with Stim. We've also seen mixed success with that. For now, I'll change the player name. Beautiful. As we have our double Stargate opener. So second Stargate is on the way. Going double scouts. Not the opener I was necessarily expecting, but there we go. Third Stargate is in production. And bearing in mind that Prome still, or our players still don't know where they are. As our players, they still have not scouted each other. Right now, just triple CC out of ZaRDieNT, a very greedy build, going 3rd CC before factory. So very greedy, using the Rax the Scout, using it like an Overlord, is checking top right. He will find the Protoss. And the E-base should just be for turrets. So turret's going to be on the way. There's that starport, also in production. Scans bottom left, confirms Prome is nowhere to be found. Scout does find ZaRDieNT. Ooh, and there's no anti-air. There's no anti-air. SCVs are going to be falling. Getting 1, getting 2. Remember, there's no anti-air because the factory was heavily delayed. There was an intentional delay on the factory. And we are going to delay the starport even further. There we go. 3 SCV kills. Going to get up to 4. Now the Cyclone will defend, will eventually shoot this away. Well, that's still getting out of hand here. It's still going to be 6, 7 SCV kills, getting up to 8. Oh my god. Getting 8, getting up to almost 9. Cyclone has arrived, and Prome has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Oh, he will lose the scouts. He will lose the scouts, but he's going for the Cyclone. Oh no, he's gonna lose it. Oh, can we get the repair? Can we get the repair in time? The repair is barely in time. Whew. Cyclone is saved. Did I speak too soon? Oh, no, we're good. Okay, Cyclone is going to be repaired. Scouts, they do check the natural location. Behind this, making more scouts. Now pulling away. And alas, that starport is heavily delayed here for ZaRDieNT. Again, ZaRDieNT punished for his greed, losing how many SCVs in total? 11. 11 SCVs have gone down. 11 worker kills. Delay on the starport. Delayed mining. From here, going into +1 air weapons. Oh, that's good. That's good. Going into +1. Likewise, yep, Mass Starport on the way. We did assume it was going to be Mass Viking. That's what we should be headed towards. So Mass Viking out of ZaRDieNT. But Viking production is delayed because of all that economic damage done early on. And the scouts are moving out. How many in total? Gonna be 7. 7 scouts here for Prome. Going up against 2 Cyclones. Can he focus them down? Still no turret. Yeah, still no turret. It does dive in. Oh! Lock-ons are brutal. It does maintain the lock-on and does not get the scouts. Yeah, with that mining ignite, 7 SCEv kills. Oh my god. As scouts, they can't quite keep up with the Cyclone. 1 scout falls. More of them building up. Still just mass scouts. I did expect to see a fleet beacon into carrier, but still just pure scouts out of Prome. And he's doing quite well for himself. He's doing quite well. Mass Vikings still in production. Still building up. Ooh. Scouts, they do survive. They're quite tanky. Now getting another 7 SCEvs. And even if the Vikings swap out, they may just be targeted down as finally 1 Cyclone falls. He gets 1, he gets 2. He gets both Cyclones, takes down the turret, has control of the base. And what are 2 Vikings going to do here? They do nothing. Yeah, the 3rd base is forfeit. And Prome is snowballing out of control. And ZaRDieNT's being punished for his greed. As a reminder, for context of course, as it can be easy to forget, ZaRDieNT did go for a 3rd CC before factory. We had hyper greed out of ZaRDieNT. And it's all just snowball from there. He scans, sees the 3rd base. 3rd base will be killed here for ZaRDieNT. It will go down. Oof. Takes down the turrets. Goes to the Vikings. They get 1 shots. And the mass scout. Let's go. I've never seen mass scout before. Let's go. And it looks like Prome, he will overwhelm. He will overwhelm the Vikings. Takes down the turrets one after the other. Camps of production. Let's go, and he will slowly kill the buildings. It's gonna take a while, that's what I will say, but he'll get there. Oh, again, just making sure these towers don't get up. It does not get the final tower repairs a little bit too good. Going for the SCEvs instead. Catch out the Vikings, has to respect this, pulls away. Behind this, making 4 scouts at a time. And ZaRDieNT, he just can't build up. It's just not going to happen here. Even making all these Vikings at a time, it's not going to be enough. As he's down to 37 SCEvs, and eventually he can't repair. He's just running out of money. He can no longer repair. As the turrets will fall, and that's game. GG gets called. Prome takes a lead in the series. Whew, GG, well played. Again, ZaRDieNT being very greedy here. I don't blame him. When you're on an island map like this, I feel like you're so tempted to be as greedy as possible. But alas, it was a little bit unfortunate. It was a little bit RNG as well, bearing in mind 4-player spawn map. And if Prome had scouted on the left-hand side instead first, then the scout would have been delayed, which means the starport would have finished. Remember, the starport was barely delayed by that first scout, as he was able to get the SCEv kill and of course camp the mineral line, take down all the workers. Things very quickly escalated out of control. GG. GG, well played. With that, Prome takes the lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. Let's go. Why no Marines against the scouts? If you recall, the Rax was used to scouts. If you recall, the Rax is floated over towards the top right, like an overlord. So we did have the Rax floating and scouting. There was no Rax to build anything, because the initial plan to go up against, to go into the island map was to go into Mass Viking, to go into Mass Starport. So there was no Rax. As we're getting into our second game, and spawning in the top right hand corner, spawning in the top right hand corner here of Bloody Ridge, we have our South Green Protoss player, our Teal Protoss, leading the series 1-0. It is Prome. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Pink Terran player. Pink Terran himself down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is ZaRDieNT. The rich gas has been an issue on Isles lately. Yes, I did see the post. I think someone made a post on, I think it was on Twitter. Someone made a post, or maybe it was on Discord, saying that the gases are going to be adjusted. I think the rationale was for Mutaplay, I think specifically for Mutaplay. to address that. I don't think I've seen Mass Muta on... Oh, maybe I've seen 3-Point Play Muta. Did 3-Point Play Muta the one game he won on Neo Azul Siren? If you remember 3-Point, he won his first game on Neo Azul Siren. I think he did go Muta, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. I can't quite recall what that game was. Mass Muta destroyed every Terran ever on that map. There you go, there you go. I think that's what 3-Point used. Could be mistaken. Or did he go Mass Hydra Drop? Three-Point isn't that so. I know he is, but remember he won. Remember we got excited. He won that one game. He had that one win on Neo Azul Siren. Maybe that was his only win. Maybe that was his only win. The game where he went Mass Muta with Queen. And then the Giga Turtle bottom lane. Oh no, yes, that's the game. That's it. Yeah. yes, that's what happened. Let's go. Dark times. Meanwhile, we're going to be settling into game 2. We do have ZaRDieNT going to be opening up with... Ooh, going to be opening up Concussive Shell Marauder. Interesting. Now, this is designed to punish the first gateway units. Speaking of, the Zealot does move out. Thankfully, Prome does move out with the Zealot, not with the Dragoon. Does spot the Marauder. Backs off. This is before Concussive Shell. So this initial opener here from ZaRDieNT shouldn't be too effective. Ideally, if we didn't have a Zealot Scout, the first Dragoon moves out and then gets caught by a Concussive Shell. And then we snowball from there. Alas, won't be the case here. Will not be the case. Prome is aware of the Marauders, will back off, will build up. Behind this, building up into Reaver production. Robos on the way into Bay, into Reavers. Likewise, back across the map, ZaRDieNT going into Mech. Sorry, going to Bio. For some reason, I thought that was a second factory, and I thought it was playing Brood War. But it's going to be Bio, of course. Second racks on the way. Building up. And now we can get into Bloody Ridge once again. We've had quite a lot of games on this map, actually. Quite a lot of games so far on Bloody Ridge. We'll see how successful Prome can be with that drop play, as we have shuttle speed being researched, or like graviton boosters, or whatever it's called. Shuttle speed. ZaRDieNT is being active with those initial 3 Marauders, though. It's being active, does move out. Likewise, Prome does spot him. Bold move by Prome. Does move out, he will bleed out a Dragoon. Fitting 1 for 1. Going for the second Marauder. Does bring him down. And with that, he overwhelms. Takes down all 3 Marauders. ZaRDieNT misjudging the strength of those Marauders. Gets punished. Does misjudge. Gonna be forced back. Here comes that Reaver drop coming in from Prome. And ZaRDieNT is gonna be contained. He's gonna be contained here on 2 bases. Oh, massive tank shot. Tank volley goes off. We have 2 tanks here at the natural. The main base is more exposed. Shuttle speed kicks in. Behind this, going for the Citadel, working towards a charge or Zealot legs. And Prome is going to try to break that tank line. This time less certain of. Oh my god. Drops the Reaver. Tank shots on the Dragoons. The Reaver shot does not go off, and yeah, we're not gonna break this. Gets 1 tank. Just the one. Has to get out of here. A questionable move here from Prome. He gets 1 tank, I suppose. That was still a hefty loss for Prome. Has to pull away. And with that, ZaRDieNT holds. ZaRDieNT, he does hold. Likewise, getting to Stim, getting to Combat Shields, +1. Building up his Bio, 3rd CC's on the way. Prome coming in from behind. That Reaver still is very low. Shot goes off. Oh, on the building SCEvo. Decent connection, but he will lose everything here. Yeah, the Reaver goes down, the shuttle as well. This was not worth it for Prome. Losing far too much. 5 Dragoons, the shuttle, and the Reaver. And with that, ZaRDieNT looking solid. ZaRDieNT just chilling here on 2 bases, getting his 3rd base up and running. And Prome is going to have to stumble his way into the mid-game here. So we're calming down, getting that 3rd base up and running. He's getting that 3rd. And the game is going to slow down for a time. It's going to slow down while, of course, our Terran player establishes that 3rd base. Looking for the observer. Meanwhile, Reaver drop coming back in. Does avoid the main army. Now, this is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, there's a lot of potential to harass and deal economic damage. That is true. On the other hand, that means no Reavers to defend. No Reavers at home to defend. Or at least not these two. Shot goes off. Oh! Massive connection. 12 SCVs. Yeah, the workers a snack. 12 workers going down. But ZaRDieNT, he doesn't care. He does commit. He's moving out across the map. Back at home. What is it to defend? Nothing. There's nothing back at home. Dragoon's out of position. Pylon goes down. He's going for the kill. He's going for the natural. Depowers the gateways. It's going to be a one-way trip. Dragoons are coming from behind. The boys are being pulled. Tanks are being targeted. He gets one. He gets both. Yeah, both tanks go down. But the entire mineral line will fall. Here come the Reavers. Oh my god, massive connection. Reaver shots go off and Prome holds. Whew, he does hold. Will cost him 19 probes though. 19 workers go down the defense. Worker counts are neck and neck. And Prome, he does gain map control, or does maintain it. Once again moving out. I'm getting deja vu. We've seen this before. This time with more Dragoons. But this time he will not attempt to break the expansion. Waiting for reinforcements. I'm sure he's tempted. But we can just calm down. We don't have to move in. It's okay. It's okay, Probe. It's okay. Calm down. We can just chill. Yeah, Viking has arrived. Prome resaturating his bases. He wants to dive in. Looking for an opening. Does spot the turret. Spots the turret, pulls away. Oh. Viking will zone. Tank's a little bit too far back. ZaRDieNT is breaking out. Trying to at least. The Reavers they drop in. Shot's not quite connecting. Shuttle goes down. And with that, ZaRDieNT he breaks out. He does break out and takes a massive shot to the face though. And Dragoons they break through the Marauders. But what about the tanks? Yeah, the tanks hold the line. It's getting close though. It's getting close. The Zealots they break through. The Charge Lots. They get on top of the first tank. They get on top of the second tank as well. Just barely. Oh, gets the tank. But not enough. Barely not enough. That was an expensive loss here from Prome, losing both Reavers, losing the shuttle, losing every single Dragoon. And ZaRDieNT expands. He does expand. He does break out. Takes his 3rd base. Can now main out over. Prome behind this, out of splash damage, now working towards Storm. Storm and High Templar. We're done with the Reavers. Getting into Storm instead. Once again, I don't think that Prome had to engage there, but he really did want to break his opponent. With that, did lose that army lead. Getting a 4th expansion. Getting into Storm. Now that our Terran player has gained map control, we can see drop play actually coming to fruition. We've seen time and time again Brood War Protoss players struggle to keep up with the movements of SE2 Terran. And we'll see if we can get into that here. ZaRDieNT does move out. Storm is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. Does spot the main army. He sees the Storm. And he shouldn't engage. He's stimming in. He's crazy. Does try to stim in. Picks off a couple of Zealots. Storm will zone. Or at the same time, was a distraction. Viking slips into the main. I'll slip in, gets 4 probe kills. Oof. Storm once again turns away. Did that Storm just kill a High Templar? Is that what just happened? Okay. I think technically, yeah, Prome, yeah, he did kill it. It does fall under the category of what Prome killed. Smurge, baby, Smurge. Got his own High Templar. Oh! Does find the drop though. Does come across the drop. Be careful with your storms, man. Be careful. Catching up the bio. Does catch the reinforcements. ZaRDieNT, he commits across the map. Massive storm on the bio. And do we go for the base trade? Yeah, we commit. This time we commit to the base trade. ZaRDieNT does hit the third. The third base is going to go down, dropping in towards the fourth. At the same time, we're pushing in towards the natural. Oh, the prism! Prism goes down! Ay. There were 4 High Templar? Yeah, 4 High Templar inside. Massive loss there for Prome. Losing and bleeding out 4 High Templar for nothing from the turret. Does get into the mineral line, but now he's only got 1 High Templar left. He's got 3 High Templar. Mine shot's going off. Natural is going to go down. But the drop is in the main base. And ZaRDieNT, he's just that much faster to the base trade. Already pushing into the main. 2 more mine shots. Oh! Not quite connecting. Storm does clean them up. Another storm coming in. Oh! Not quite connecting. Oh yeah, as the SVs, they do tank some shots. Liberators have arrived. There's still that 1 storm. As Liberator goes down, massive mine shot connects. Likewise, main base is falling, so is the natural, nothing back at him to defend. And thankfully there are some probes, so Prome can always throw down some buildings. Assuming he has any probes left. There we go, they do escape. Probes will escape, and how do we compare the main armies? Okay, so we have 11 Marauders, 17 Marines. It's a hefty bio army. There's 1 High Templar, 1 Storm. There should have been 5, just gonna say that at least, but 1 High Templar left. Mainly Zealots. Buildings, they're floating away. Everything back at home is being destroyed. Likewise, backup buildings here towards top left. Backup production. And Prome, he needs to throw down a Nexus. He needs a Nexus soon. As he's running out of buildings. Down to 2 pylons. Where's the Nexus? Okay, there we go. Whew. Nexus is thrown down. Does have workers left over. And ZaRDieNT, he goes for the mass migration. CC is going to crumble. It's going to burn down. Does heal the SCVs. Yeah, they shouldn't escape. Oh! Ah, they do actually. Never mind. They get past the Archon somehow. Do get past. And ZaRDieNT, he's aware of the base. He knows. He's aware where it is. And he might be able to catch Prome out of position. Prome, he does stay back with a couple of Dragoons. Zealot hit top left. And we're going for the Nexus. Show us the storm. Up! Up! Oh my god, massive storm on the army. Oh my god, the Bio army does crumble. Whew. Prome holds. Prome is holding on. Oh, the jug. Oh no! Medevac goes down. And there is a secondary army, but GG gets called. Prome, yeah, he holds on to the ramp, he defends, and Prome will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Prome, he does survive, does defend. Sure, there were buildings out there, but there was no army remaining. ZaRDieNT, he had his army in 2. He split his army in 2. One half pushed up the ramp, the other half was out on the map. And did lose everything to that storm, to those Dragoons. GG. GG, well played. In the end, Prome will take it. And with that, we have our grand finals. We have our grand finals here. Oh. As it's going to be a best of 5 between Kots and Prome. It's gonna be a short series, isn't it? Let's go. Aye. I'm a little bit concerned as COD, of course, took down the head 2-0. We had Prome taking down ZaRDieNT 2-0 as well. And how many 12 pulls are we gonna get out of COD? That's the real question. How many 12 pulls? How many cheeses? It's gonna happen quite often, I'm sure. It's Smooge, pappy Smooge. Here we go. As we do need a moment to set things up. How often will Coke get a third base? How often will he saturate the third base? That's the better question. I'm gonna say once. I'm gonna say there's one game in this series where he saturates his third. It's gonna be incredible. As we are jumping into Bloody Ridge. Wish they'd replace the Disruptor with the Reaver in regular SC2. It'd be so much more fun. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's definitely arguments for both. I want to say, like, I think what's enjoyable about the Disruptor is that there's like a counter micro available to it, a little bit more so than the Reaver. I think we've spoken about this before, but the Reaver is a very different unit and very necessary in Brood War, just because it takes the role of something like a Disruptor, but also the role of the Immortal as well. Like, it's like 2-in-1. Like, it has to be a little more robust. It has to, yeah, be a little bit more impactful, just because Brood War Protoss don't have as much available to them. Meanwhile, 12 pool. It's let's go, baby. Let's go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Bloody Ridge, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the pink Protoss, representing among SC2 people. It is Prome. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, but spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Zerg going for the 12 pool drone pool once again here to kick off the grand finals. Representing Team Hyper 1 from Hong Kong, it is Cut. Here we go. We do have the initial denial of the expansion, but really this is the fake out. The probe does go, oh my god, the probe does go down, and alas, Prome, I don't know how familiar he is with COT. It is going to be a 2-gate opener, thankfully. 2-gate opener out of Prome. Meanwhile, he did scout, okay, he did scout the timing of the hatchery, the timing of the spawning pool, I meant to say. The boys are being pulled, it's all or nothing. 12 pool drone pool out of COT. Prome, he's decently set up here to wall off. Yeah, the probe is in position. Probe is in position for the pylon. Drone gets spotted. Now he knows. Second pylon's on the way. Zealot has arrived, but he has to make sure the Zealot doesn't get surrounded, as the drones are here to come in from behind. Likewise, yeah, boys are being pulled. Good response here by Prome. A very nice response. The boys are here, and that Zealot is safe. Yeah, the Zealot is safe. The Zealot ideally doesn't get surrounded. There's that second pylon. And COD is being denied. COD, he's being denied. Going for the gateway, but that second Zealot will pop out. And so will the third. And as the Zealot count gets higher, I mean, this army, it becomes that much less effective. The gateway is going to fall. More boys are being pulled. More boys have arrived. He's killing his own gateway, yeah. There we go, does bring it down. And Cody's running out of time. He's running out of time. He's running out of steam. There's now 3 Zealots, soon to be 4 Zealots. It's going to be crazy. And Probe commits. Probe drills pass. And we'll clean this up. He'll just completely clean this up. Yeah, the Zerg army melts. Probes, they can go back to mining at this point. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Probe holds, and Probe takes a lead in the series. GG. Whew. Oh, also, I apologize for the ZaRDieNT redemption. True. Hold on. Don't apologize. But GG, well played. Cut. He does take a loss here in the first game. Again, just a really solid response here from Prome. Almost said ZaRDieNT. From Prome to pre-pull the boys to have them ready behind the Zealot. Really nice SimCity. Was able to buy time for that second Zealot, for the third Zealot as well. And once he had his 3 Zealots, that was game. That was game. Then and there, he had plenty to defend. GG. GG, well played. ZaRDieNT playing Zerg? No way. No, we fixed it. It's all good. Yo, blame ZaRDieNT because he names himself anything but ZaRDieNT on EU and on NA. ZaRDieNT. But here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Pink Protoss. Representing among SE2 people, it is Prome. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the green Zerg player. We have the green Zerg from Hong Kong, representing Team Hyper 1. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Cut. Here we go. Scott is going gas first. Now, we have seen this already out of Cots. We've seen two builds so far out of our Zerg player. We've seen either 12 pool drone pool or gas first into Ling Ravager. As we should be seeing Ling speed being prioritized, then we stay in gas into Roaches, into Ravagers, into a Ling Ravager all in. That's what I'm assuming is going to be coming out from Cot, just because of what we've seen already here in the broadcast. So we'll keep an eye on Cot. As back at home, 2-gate opener. Oh. Yeah, almost an overreaction, but a 2-gate opener here from Prome. As Prome, of course, is rocking the Brutal Protoss. Clutch force take the unnatural natural, force to expand elsewhere. Weaker. Guess or no good. I mean, cheese can be quite limited if your opponent scouts you, right? And if your opponent knows the correct response. That's something that the previous Protoss players had a harder time with. Even though they would scout the 12 pool, they would underreact more often than not. Or wouldn't have the best response to it. Meanwhile, the probe is going to be forced back. There's that Roach one. As we mentioned, again, Ling Ravager should be the go-to. So this should be the Ling Ravager all-in out of Cut. Back at home, Prome is setting up. Prome has limited scouting information. He did see the early gas, true, so he knows about early Ling speed. But for all Cot knows, this could be a Bane bust, or it could be a Roach all-in, right? Like, it could be one or the other. Technically, it could be just Ling speed into droning, true, that's also an option. We know it isn't that, but that's still like what Prome is trying to piece together. As 2 Lings slip in. And the shield battery is done. Gateway is saved. Second Zealot has arrived. Getting to a third Zealot as well. Meanwhile, here come those Roaches, and again, these it should only be minimal Roaches, and they're designed to morph into Ravagers to break down the wall. To break down the front door. Dragoon production has begun. Army's moving out. T does not drone his natural. Again, no drones whatsoever. He only has 16 workers in the main. Ravagers are now morphing in. Ravagers are on the way. I believe it's going to be 4. Yeah, 4 Ravagers. I guess 4 Roaches. 2 of them are morphed in. Ling's distracting in the main base. Roaches are revealed. And the pressure is on. SimCity working against Prome there, getting a little bit awkward. It does have to focus on that Ravager. The first Ravager is going to be denied. Yeah, massive pickoff. Down to 3. Lings, they attempt to dive. While they weaken, they soften up the wall. The first Dragoon is going to go down, just barely. First Dragoon falls. Gateway under fire. Second Ravager is going to be focused down. Oh, not quite. Yeah, Lings, they engage. Ravager finishes. Prome is in trouble. Yeah, Prome is in trouble. Lings, they bust down that front door. They get us around. And it looks like Cod has done it. Yeah, Cody breaks through, takes down the Zealots, takes down the Dragoons. Cannons are done, though. Uh-oh. Cannons are finishing up. Lings are going down. And Prome, he's barely holding on. Whew, barely does hold. Takes down the Ravager. Saves the probes. And there's not really much left. Yeah, there's not much left over. Does pick up the gateway. But right now, Code is playing with fire. More Lings are coming in to reinforce. More Lings have arrived. And Cody's forced to drone. And bear this in mind, again, he hasn't had any saturation here. Cod was all in. Prome is in a better position. He has better saturation, better mining. He's not out of the woods yet, though. Cybercore is going to get picked off. Oh my god, it's so close. Cybercore on fire. Yo, remember when Protoss buildings used to catch fire? Yo, that was oh my god. I forgot about that. I appreciate that effect. Is that new? Is that a new effect? But yeah, in Brood War, Protoss buildings, they used to catch fire. I just, yeah, it just clicked in my mind that that is not the case in SE2. There used to be like blue flames. Yo, I made the memories, they just flooded back in. Let's go. A little bit sad that isn't the case anymore. Yeah, I appreciate it here in the mod though. I appreciate the nice addition to it. Oh yeah, remember when Protoss buildings used to be flammable? Then I guess they just increased the technology and found out how to stop that. As behind this, Cody's droning. He's droning up, saturating his natural, getting a third base. Cod still has a ways to go to recover, I will say that. Photo kind of looks like a little candle. It does, it looks like a little candle. Ah. Let's go. It's like an oil lamp. But I appreciate the attention to detail to add that. Because I completely forgot, to be honest. Completely forgot that fact. It's like how I appreciate when the Dragoon dies, like it doesn't just like explode or like fall apart, but it breaks apart, but like the center like melts and it like opens up and like fluid goes everywhere. It's just different vibe. Different vibe. Here we go. Prome does move out, charge is done. I say ZaRDieNT, I should say. So ZaRDieNT has completed. Prome moving out. Kochi's in a rough position. He does have Ling Ravager to defend, but not that many. And ZaRDieNT are getting on top of the roaches. Yeah, they dive on in. Roaches get pounced upon. Files don't quite connect. Nice snipe here on the first Ravager. These ZaRDieNT are trading well. Lings, they come in from behind. They come in for the surround. Dragoon's getting caught out. Decent engage here from Kot, but ZaRDieNT they overwhelm. And yeah, the ZaRDieNT just overwhelm the army. They overwhelm everything. The Lings, the Roaches, the Ravagers, everything goes down. And with that, Prome will extend that lead in the series. We'll take game 2. We'll take down Kot. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a nice defense early on there by Prome. As a reminder, Kot, he was all in. He was all in. The all-in failed. He barely didn't break the natural. From there, he stumbled his way into the mid-game. He had a hard time droning, hard time reestablishing himself. And with that, Prome takes a 2-0 lead, but this is a best of 5. Kot has a chance to recover. He has a chance to redeem himself. We'll see if he can, loading into Amygdala. Now, if you recall, my challenge to Kot at the start of the series was, will Kot ever saturate a third base? I assumed at least once in this best of 5. We'll see if we can get there. Well, we'll see. As we're getting into game number 3. Because technically he did take a third base this game, but he didn't quite turn, he didn't quite saturate. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our pink Protoss player from South Korea, leading the series 2-0. Once again, rocking the Brood War race. It is Prome. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the green Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, representing Team Hyper 1. Down in the series quite heavily. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is Gut. Once again going for the 15 hatch. Once again going for the expansion, ideally before the probe arrives. As the drone moves down, but the probe is in position. Prome, he will delay. Nicely done here. He does delay. He does force the inefficient opener, or the unnatural natural here out of Gut. Kot forced to expand elsewhere, and Prome feeling pretty good about this. So a solid start here by Prome. behind this, going for his own gate into expand. And for the first time this series, hatch first. Hatch first by cut. And Prome is aware. He's fully aware. He knows that he's safe. There's no need to go for a 2-gate opener like we've seen every game so far. And do we finally see some macro out of cut? Hatch gas pool. He's crazy. He's playing standard. But for now, he is playing standard. And we'll see if this leads into something more chaotic, if this leads into like a roach based all-in, like a German taxi or a drop lord based all-in. I'm assuming all-in because that's all that COD has done so far in this tournament. Like he's done for the only times he has macroed is when his all-in fails. Like that's the only time. So my eyes are gonna be on the Zerg player for the most part. Meanwhile, from here, the side core is almost done. From here, we can get into our tech of choice, Stargate, or even a Robo opener. Should be Robo, getting in and working towards Disruptors, I would imagine. I say Disruptors, Reavers is what I meant to say. There's that Robo, into Bay, into Reaver drop. I do know that some Protoss players were messing around a little bit with Stargate openers, a little bit. I know that that the balance team was trying to push towards that as well when it came to the scout balance changes that were made at the start of the year. But I think that was the only tournament that we saw like Stargate openers in PvZ. I think that the only time. And hey, we saw some mixed success with them. Meanwhile, my apologies, I assumed to say Robo opener, double Robo, oh my god. Prome. Rebellion, is that you? Promy's got some builds. So double Robo, this is going to be for faster Reaver, faster shuttle play, a more committed play here from Prome. To be able to afford this, of course, only on one gateway. He also skips the second Dragoon, like he's laying other buildings, other units in favor of double Robo. Very greedy here. If COD had gone for an all-in, if he had followed this up by like not droning Roach Warren into like a Ling Ravager all-in again, Prome would be dead. Prome, he has no scouting, he has no vision, he has seen nothing outside of the opener. So if we had more aggression out of COD, he could be quite successful with that, but as we can see, he's droning. COD is droning, so if he was more aggressive, could have found some success here. Lass is not going for it. And Prome getting away with double Reaver. Double Reaver production. Oh boy. The one time that COD drones. And now I'm concerned. I'm going to be concerned here for COD. These Reavers, they pack quite a punch. They can, in a sense, one-shot queens, as I believe it takes 2 shots to kill a queen. And the Reavers, they have arrived, loaded up, and Prome is moving out. He's moving out across the map. Shuttle speed, halfway done. Back at home, COD, he's droning, he's saturating, getting into his own Roach Warren, into an Evo chamber. He's got how many queens to defend? He's got 6. Okay, 6 queens to defend. And Prome is moving in. They're being in between the bases. He can just go straight for the queens. Speaking of, does find them. And queen's gonna be targeted, he gets 1. Takes down 1, he takes down the others. Again, 2 shots, and he will kill every single queen. Oh, I say that. Gets 2 so far. The others pull away. Roach production has begun. The Reaver's getting very low though. Oof. Reaver's getting low, gets the second queen. Gets 4. 4 queens go down. Oh my god, the Reaver's so low. Oh my god, the drones, they stack up. 5 drones go down. Not like this. Pick up the Reaver. Jesus. He's on 3 HP. Save your Reaver. And so far, Prome doing well. Does trade well here. He takes out, I mean, look at the efficiency. 6 drones, 4 queens, 14 lings, and an overlord. As I believe that was just killed as those morphing in. Moving across the map. And now Prome moves out. Now he moves out with his main army. Has his Dragoons, Dragoon range on the way. That was also delayed, getting up to 4 Reavers. Jesus, that's a lot of Reavers. As, I mean, it takes them a while to move out. At least Cod does spot this. He's aware. The Overlord's going to buy a lot of time. Behind this Cod trying to go into meter play, going for a Spire. He does spot the army. So Overlord buying a lot of time, actually. Aye, aye, aye. As now Prome can push. Cod back at home building up his roaches. Drop coming back in. He wants the queens. Oof. Shots going up. Takes down one. Takes down one of the queens. Pulls away. Again, here comes that main army. Reavers are lagging behind. Jeez, he's got 6 Reavers. 6 Reavers moving in. I don't think I've ever seen this many Reavers in a game, I'll be honest. Like, usually we stop at like 4. Reaver shots being spent on the gas geyser, not ideal. And no scarabs left. Base under fire. Reavers are still waddling in. Yeah, he gets ahead of himself. 1 Reaver goes down, 2nd Reaver as well. And mutas, they have arrived, but that's what the Dragoons are for. Yeah, they zone away the mutas. More Dragoons on the way, making 6 at a time. Here comes a drop. Diving on the roaches. And massive connections. Caught, I don't think he can hold on here. Yeah, massive shots going up. Oh my god. The scarab shots are insane. Then we're down to 3 roaches. And the Dragoons are overwhelmed. They will overwhelm this. Just Mass Dragoon. Does cost Prome at 6 Reavers. Does cost him a lot. But he has enough. He has enough anyway. He starts as forward. Breaks through all the roaches. It was a bit of a suicide move with the Reavers, but I mean, it may just be worth it. I say that Lings are coming to reinforce. Not bad. Voids are being pulled. God, can he hold on? No. no shot. He's buying a little bit more time here. Prome still just rallying across the map. Essentially 2 base all in, as he never took a 3rd. Yeah, mutas are being targeted. As he just kites back. We do see Cod somewhat trading here. Again, Lings, they do an amazing job here at just buffering and just tanking Dragoon shots. So there's not that many Lings left over. Not many Lings left. And the roaches are exposed. Roaches are exposed. They're pulling one after the other. Losses that Cod just cannot afford. GG gets called. Well played. And Prome will take the series 3-0, becoming our very first StarCraft Evolution League Code A champion. GG. GG, well played. Caught, he actually droned. He actually macroed up here coming into game 3. Meanwhile, it was Prome that wasn't droning, that wasn't getting a 3rd base. He went for a straight up 2 base all in, double robo, mass Reaver. Very bold move and very successful as well, catching out workers, queens, roaches ahead of time, all leading to that eventual 6 Reaver all in. We saw that mutas were somewhat effective. They were able to focus down the shuttles. True, they did focus down the shuttles. But the Reavers, they were able to get their scab shots off just in time. Massive connection on the roaches, and the Dragoons did overwhelm. We saw that Cod almost held with those Ling reinforcements. It was close. He almost held on. He pulled the boys as well, but wasn't enough. Was not enough. He had just lost too much in the lead up to that game, or in the lead up to that all-in. GG. GG, well played. Prome, he will claim it. He will take the series, and congratulations to Prome for becoming our first Code A champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, Prome, he is, I would maybe argue, top 5 Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. Prome did drop a map to Starat, of course. I think I mentioned before that I feel like Rebellion is probably top 3 Protoss in StarCraft Evolution, like 3rd only to like Skillous and Classic. And then when I think of the Protoss players just behind Rebellion, I typically think of Ateshi and I think of Prome. But I might just be thinking of them just because of how active they are. I know there are a lot of players like in the European region that are now picking up the game. Players like DeWalt, players like Nehead as well. And clearly they had good they had good performances in this tournament as well. So yeah, I'd be excited to see how they compare to the other Korean Protosses. Would be cool to see. But regardless, congratulations here to Prome, as he will claim it. and looking quite solid as well. Called he cheesed his way to the finals, and quite successfully, quite successfully so, but was eventually shut down. And yeah, with that, I look forward to the upcoming Code A's as well. I believe there's going to be a monthly tournament. Every single month we feature a new Code A event, and I look forward to seeing more of these players in the future, not just in Code A, but in StarCraft Evolution League proper as well. Do look forward to it. Speaking of more StarCraft Evolution, I believe there's going to be another event around the corner here. It is going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be live with the StarCraft Evolution League King of the Hill #2. So this is where we can see some of these players once again reprise their roles in a best of 1 format instead. That is going to be in 12 hours time. Oh boy. So bam, our schedule is not quite updated for that though, but yes, in 12 hours time we're going to be live with the StarCraft Evolution King of the Hill. I say that I'm a little bit tentative on that. We might do a replay cast instead. We'll see how we feel, because again, staying up 12 hours it's not the easiest thing to do. Just because we have another cast as well. What is our next broadcast? Well, you can see here on Sunday. You can see all the way on Sunday we just covered Code A, and in a couple of hours time we're going to be live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is going to be at 7 p.m. KST. That is at 9 p.m. AEST. That's in 6.5 hours. So 6.5 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel with the Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is not StarCraft Evolution, that is regular SE2. That is going to be regular SE2, that is an open tournament. And thank you so much all of our supporters on Patreon. Patreon is designed to fund Sparkling Tuna Cup, so thank you so much to all of our supporters for helping out the scene, helping the community, helping StarCraft. Thank you so much. And again, that's later on tonight. Then after that is going to be King of the Hill. And again, still tentative on whether we cast it live or via replays. One or the other. It'll be here. Somebody needs sleep. No shot. I might have a nap before Sparkling Tuna Cup. We'll see. Might have a nap. The day is still young. Still young, baby. Still young. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the StarCraft Evolution League, the Code A at least. And again, King of the Hill is going to be in 12 hours. So do tune into that. Whether it's covered here or on another channel, do look forward to it. Otherwise, of course, we are going to be wrapping up for the time being. Gotta set my alarm. Set your alarm, Pop. Yes, the Turbo Quack. Aye. Likewise, we're live on a daily basis. We're live on a daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings, whether it's Sparkling Tuna Cup, StarCraft Evolution. Tomorrow we're going to be casting the WarDTV Monday. So we have the WarDTV Monday tomorrow. We also have Pegasaur Monday on Tuesday. We have the Enki Pro Series. We have Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup, by the way, they've also picked up StarCraft Evolution as well with the Conquest format, which is very interesting. Basically, the format that they're going to be using is that you have to win with each race. So in a best of 3, if you win a game with SE2, you can't play SE2 again. You're forced to play Brood War. Or if you win a game with Brood War, you can't play with Brood War again. You have to play SE2. So yeah, it's a unique Conquest format. I look forward to it. I'm excited to see how that plays out and how that unfolds in StarCraft Evolution. Definitely unique formats, but I guess it's a way to kind of force players to play both. Technically, players can get away with playing just SE2, and I think this is just a way to kind of like force them to play StarCraft Evolution instead, which I appreciate. That's Warcraft 3 Evolution. Oh, right. True. Sorry, that's for Warcraft 3 Evolution. My bad. Not for SCEvo as well? Okay. My mistake. I assumed it was for both, but I guess just for Warcraft 3 Evolution instead. But regardless, I look forward to seeing that. And they also feature Brood War there as well. Part of me wishes that Warcraft 3 Evolution just ported over StarCraft Evolution into it and just incorporated that, but I don't know if they're able to do that. I think they have their own version of Brood War instead. It's all good. Regardless, we're going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, if you want to tune into some of the VODs, then !socials in the chat. You'll get a link to our social medias, YouTube, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of content to come. And do consider subscribing to be notified when another upload does arrive. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow or later on tonight. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching. GG. Congratulations, Prim. Congratulations.